Hello, oi, Savaloy. What's going on? Welcome back to the Random Show, episode number 101. Uno, zero, uno, uno, zero, uno. What's going on? What's really good? Big up the chat gang. Big up everybody that was slandering me in the flipping chat. You should be ashamed of yourself. Everyone's saying I'm off to go get some illegal substances. I may be in some sort of drunken stupor. I may be there. Nah, I'm right here. HD, all right? Can you see me? I can see you. You can't see me. Come on, man. Don't disrespect the kid like that. Don't disrespect me. I'm on the water, all right? When I'm messed up, I just don't turn up. You guys should know that already. You've tuned into my live streams long enough to know if I schedule a live stream and I don't turn up, I'm probably somewhere in some bathroom, in some club cubicle, right? In the bathroom, right? Toilet cubicle, whatever those things are called. And I'm probably, doing some stuff that I probably shouldn't do. That's what I'm probably doing. But if I'm schedule a stream and I come late, it means I'm fine. Last minute technical difficulties, but I'm not doing anything crazy, okay? You should know me better than that. Water gang, water gang, water gang, water gang. Hold on, I'm not gonna hold it because it might spill on my computer. Water gang, water gang. Big up everybody out there. Big up the stream chat. Big up everybody hanging in. Appreciate every single one of you for being here with me right now today. Today is the Random Show. We're going to bump into some stuff we need to talk about. I really shouldn't be doing this today because I've got loads of stuff I actually have to do in terms of work-wise, but I finished work a little bit quickly today because I have to do some cheeky work on a Saturday. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when you have to work on a Saturday for a few hours? Don't you love it, right? As if you have no life whatsoever. You're like, hey, Ag, do you mind helping us out with this thing? You're like, yeah, of course I'll do it because I need money and because I like being employed. If you tell me to jump, I'll jump, sir. I'll jump. So yeah, that's what I did today. I did a bit of that, but here I am anyway, regardless. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are bloody well. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit there. Let me adjust it a little bit there. There we go. It's just that. Is that fine? Yeah, that's got me in there. But yeah, big up the chat. Big up everybody hanging in there. I appreciate every single one of you for being here with me today. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Many things to talk about. Let me actually get this. Let me get this thing. Should I get the thing loaded? Yeah, let me get the thing loaded up on this side so I can see what I want. Let me use the thing. Here I can do many things to get into, but large chunk of the show. We're going to be reacting live to a recent episode of The Golden Hour. I've seen one clip on the Fire and the Kids subreddit where Brendan says something about rescue dogs. And it's, it's been causing a bit of a stir. So I want to watch the entire thing and get some sort of context on it. So we're going to be doing a little bit of live, watching along of that. So if you don't like listening to Brendan talking for long, or Crystalia, or Erik Griffin, then just hang in there for the first part of the show. And then I will not be, I won't take offense if you decide to duck out in the last second half, because the second half might be brutal. I'm just warning you now. I know this probably isn't good etiquette for streams, and you should probably not tell people what you're going to do and just let them sit along and watch the nonsense. But I don't like when people do that to me. So if you don't like the second half of the show, I completely understand if you want to leave, because we're going to be sitting here and we're going to be subjecting ourselves to watching the recent episode of The Golden Hour to find out where that context of, Brendan saying only poor people, have rescue dogs or something. So we're going to do that. But the beginning part is going to be all the usual Random Show stuff that you know and love. That's what we're going to be doing here. So yeah, big up the chat. Big up everybody in there so far. If you can hear sirens right now, then, please ignore them as best as you can. I keep telling you guys I live in the hood. I keep telling you guys I live in a pretty rough part of town. And part of the beauty of living in a rough part of town is that if you have an emergency, the police sometimes come quickly. But if there's a crime, you hear the police sirens all the time. So just one of those things. So if you hear police sirens, you hear ambulances, fire trucks going by, don't be alarmed. Don't let me know in the stream chat. My place probably isn't on fire. If it is, I'll hear the smoke alarm. And if I don't hear the smoke alarm, at least you'll see me getting cooked, right? Metaphorically and physically in real time. Imagine that. Seeing me get barbecued like in real time, like shriveling up and shit. So that's going to be madness. But yeah. Big up everybody in the stream chat for hanging in there. Appreciate all of you there. Who am I seeing right now? I see Natashki. I see my guy Wrestling Universal Podcast. I see Defla, Charlie K, DH, Carlos, Corey Mace, Coiler, of course. Big up. Who else is in here? Who else? What soldiers are in here? I see Brandon. I see Uche, of course. I see Tricia G, Zach Huff. Jonathan, everybody in the stream chat, big up every single one of you for joining in. I appreciate you all, as always. All right, first things first to get into, and I'm sure some of you don't care about this stuff, but I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. This news courtesy of SpaceX, mate. SpaceX, look at this. They're targeting as soon as Monday, April 17th for the first flight test of a fully integrated Starship and Super Heavy rocket from the Star Base in Texas. Do you know how amazing that is? Maybe it's just me, because I care about stuff like this, and I'm into sci-fi, I'm into space exploration, and all this stuff in general. But this is going to be amazing to see in real time. Essentially, if you don't know, what they're planning to do, the hope, is to make us a multi-planetary species. So if the Earth goes tits up, a small selection of us, which hopefully will include podcasters, DJs, and stand-up comedians. So I'll have, you know, a 2-in-1 chance. We will get put into a rocket and we'll get pew. We'll go all the way to Mars. We'll be able to record, you know, flipping live streams and podcasts and talk about digs and fucking chicks on the moon till our flipping eyes go blue. But really and truly, the real amazing thing about this is that this is meant to be a reusable rocket. So the idea about it is that this booster here, connected to the main Starship, they're connected. It goes up into the air, right? Ignition, lifts off right into the air. And as it hits outside the atmosphere, this booster comes back to Earth. Similar to what they've got with the other, I forgot the other space rockets they have, that basically fly back to Earth. It flies back to Earth, it gets refilled and whatnot, and then you can basically be sticking starships on top of it and kind of having loads of timed releases up into space really, really quickly. And the amazing thing about it is that when the actual booster rocket comes back to Earth, the plan that they want, or the plan they have in mind, is to catch the rocket with these chopstick things. So these chopstick things will actually catch the rocket and then place it back down again. Can you imagine how amazing that's going to look if it happens? It's probably not, because, you know, SpaceX usually get things right, you know, after the second time or whatnot. So most likely they won't be able to have a smooth, launch the first time around. But just seeing it done in real time is going to be so amazing to see, so awe-inspiring. And these are the things, for me personally, as much as Elon is kind of becoming a little bit of a cunt online, these are the things that I kind of love about Elon. When I first read that Ashley Vance autobiography, unofficial one, about Elon Musk, this is the stuff that kind of captivated me. The idea of him taking all that money from PayPal and trying to set up Tesla and setting up SpaceX and then doing the boring company, which hasn't really amounted to much, but still, the ideas that he's floating out there, I think are amazing, because I feel like it's a lot like the Mr. Beast thing. A lot of people kind of, you know, give Mr. Beast a lot of stick for basically for Mr. Beast for like for maybe being a little bit too a bit of an attention whore. Maybe using media and kind of making it all about the content and stuff when he's doing all these amazing charitable, philanthropic, acts or whatnot. But my defense for Mr. Beast is that at least he's doing something. Even if he is, flying across a whole camera crew to go help out some kids in Africa, or everything has to be filmed and documented for the people that he's curing their blindness, at least he's doing it. No one else is doing that for them. So I feel like with Elon Musk, even though the boring company thing was a little bit of a dead rubber, and so far people haven't been that impressed with the idea of basically boring tunnels underground to alleviate traffic in densely populated areas, people just basically say that's just basically a train, but you're in a car, and obviously the dangers of it if you get stuck in there or the tunnel, caves in on itself are really, really huge. But regardless, at least he's trying to put out an idea. At least he's trying to offer a solution of how we can alleviate traffic, how we can make our species multiplanetary, how we can get rid of fossil fuels. That's actually good. Maybe, again, there's videos I've seen of Teslas where they haven't been finished well. They've come out of the factory with loads of gaps and holes on the doors and stuff, and they just look a little bit slapdash. But again, at least he's trying. And now, through his advent, he's pushing, he's kind of pushing innovation with EVs. Now you're seeing all these other big legacy car makers essentially investing a lot of money into EVs now. Basically, every legacy car maker, I think, for the most part, has an EV option that they offer. And I don't think that would have been the case if Elon Musk didn't, set up Tesla and everybody that works there and kind of pushed electric vehicles into the mainstream as they are now. So as much as the guy's a cunt online, and he does drive me crazy sometimes with stuff that he says, and he's clearly a bit of an attention whore, and Tim Dillon was right about him, he is addicted to the fame side of things. fundamentally, the good that he's doing for the world, I think, outweighs the negative in my opinion. I could be controversial there, but I think the good he's doing for the world, it does. Oh yeah, people saying in the chat, even Elon, the Cobalt King. Okay, let's not get into how the batteries for Teslas are put together. Let's not look too deep into things. Let's just see how cool they look, right? And the fact that they become like the. I feel like Teslas are like YouTubers' version of a G-Wagon. You know, all rappers have G-Wagons, or rappers' girlfriends, or whatever they have. I feel like a YouTuber's first car is always a Tesla, which is amazing. But yeah, yeah, exactly. You got to do some bad. I agree. You know what? I don't even think that's true. Maybe I'm also in the minority here. I don't believe that adage or that kind of saying people say where they're like, oh, you can't be a billionaire unless you do some bad in the world. I don't think that's true. I think there is such a thing as being an ethical billionaire. I just think no one cares in general because that story isn't compelling. You kind of want the person to be like a Lex Luthor, you know, mythical figure, obviously in comic books, but you kind of want them to be a Lex Luthor type of character. You actually don't want them to be inherently good and trying to put their best foot forward. It doesn't really work. So I think there are people out there who are ethical, quote unquote, billionaires, and they just live a quasi normal life, but people don't really care because there's not really a compelling story or something that you want to tell. So I think, I'm not saying he isn't, Elon, but I think there are some people who don't allow money to corrupt them. And the reason why I say that, because I've always said before, and I think we're all the same here in this chat or in this stream, I'm sure all of you guys know somebody, and I grew up with a couple of people I remember, precisely this one girl and this one boy that I went to school with. I've known of two people in my life, and I think it's happened, everyone's had this occurrence, where you meet somebody who's inherently wealthy, like super, super rich. Like, I don't know, I think the person that I met, if I'm not mistaken, I think their dad, like, invented something to do with, like, washers on screws. Like, something about a washer. Like, they were the first person that invented, like, something crazy small like that obviously is going to create generational wealth. And first things first, I didn't find out until years later this person was super rich. And then later on, everything started to make sense about how nice they were. They were insanely nice person. Like, just to speak to and hang out with and stuff. So I feel like we've all had those occurrences where you've met somebody in your life that's really rich and also super nice. And I feel like this kind of common idea out there that everybody that has money is somewhat inherently evil is a bit skewed. But I also feel like there are some people out there who, when they do get money, they want to do a big, you know, middle finger up to the world. They kind of, you know, always felt like they were special. They always felt like they weren't, you know, no one really identified or saw their greatness. And the moment they get money, it kind of justifies how special and how great they feel they are, and they turn into a tyrant. We all know that example. We've seen it, but I'm just holding out hope that there are some wealthy people out there, some rich guys and girls who are somewhat chill, somewhat cool, and aren't all up their own ass. I'm hoping, I'm wishing, I'm hoping. But hey, what can you do? Moving on from that one. This is a bit of motivation for me, because I just come back from a pretty long run, so a pretty long bicycle. I had a couple push-ups inside the home as well. Went to the gym yesterday, going for a long run tomorrow. So I'm on my fucking Alton Mason summer, right? And I keep telling you guys I'm looking to get ripped. I'm looking to get ripped, but I'm looking to get slim. I want to get back into all my flipping designer clothes and have my European physique. So when I'm heading out to flipping Berghain, I got my arms up in the air, my little t-shirt lifts up, people see my midriff and they see it's chiseled. I got that little side man divot on the side, right? Everyone's gonna love it. One of the things that's really good motivation for working out and just keeping trim is this new video that I've just peeped, courtesy of Post Malone, also known as Austin, aka Posty. He's got a new video out for his single called Chemical. That's a bit of a bop, to be fair, and it's flipping amazing. This could easily be an ad for flipping Calvin Klein. He looks so good. He looks so good. He's lost so much weight, and he definitely looks like he's been eating well, I think, for the most part, or for the most part eliminate something. He's got, because I know that kind of figure where you kind of just lose the weight first of all, and then later on you firm up. So he looks like he's either eliminated, maybe drinking a lot, or he's kind of tightened up his diet. And obviously he's been on tour as well. It feels like for 17 months. That's going crazy. And I think I saw on the subreddit of Post Malone, some people saying that, I didn't even know this because he's quite private about this, but he actually has a partner and they just had a kid recently, but he has to keep those guys like private and doesn't like to expose them to social social media, and people are saying that he said in interviews that since his kid was born, he's just wanting to like kind of relax and not be too crazy. But I'm gonna play his video on mute. Hopefully, he doesn't get me pulled. Oh, let's put it on mute. Hope he doesn't get me pulled. But he looks absolutely amazing, no? Or am I bugging? Post Malone looks good, man. Look how slim he looks, and it's amazing as well, right? Because I never, again, all the homos in the world, I never really like looked at Post Malone and thought, oh, that guy's a good looking dude. But now because he's lost, like, let's say it looks like he's maybe lost 50 pounds, maybe more, he legitimately looks good looking. Like, I think so. As a dude, I can say, hey, that guy's a handsome dude. He really does look quite, even with all these flipping, you know, tattoos and stuff and whatnot, because that which looked a bit crazy before, he actually looks really good. He's just coming into his own. And he even looks taller, because I think I've seen people say when you've seen him in real life, he's actually really tall. I think someone said like he's like 6'3" or something. He doesn't look it, but he looks taller now because he lost the weight, you know? Like, he looks taller. Everything's kind of improved. And it's got me thinking in general, because there was that article that I was talking about before regarding the uprising, regarding the kind of rise in men deciding to get flipping cosmetic surgery, right? There was a big article about I read obviously on the stream regards of the Daily Mail, and I thought to myself, when it comes to dudes though, I think women are probably the same. Maybe women's different, because I think women have, you know, if you're pregnant, if you give birth, women always say your body kind of never goes back to like how it was prior. It kind of always fundamentally changes, and obviously women have periods and whatnot. So there are other things that can kind of impact a woman's weight that are way more, you know, things that you can't really control in some respect. I think like with guys though, because we don't have that, you should do yourself a flipping favor if you are a bit overweight and just try and lose 5 pounds first of all. And I've noticed it myself, just losing 5 pounds and being, you know, just seeing like, even in your XL t-shirts, oh wow, it's not as tight on my shoulders anymore. Oh wow, when I wear a white tee, maybe my man boobs aren't poking out as much, or whatever your insecurity is. Losing 5 pounds only can make so much difference for a guy. And then when you start increasing, it can get even more. So I think people should really, especially dudes, if you don't have any, you know, if you don't have any pre-existing health conditions or whatnot, you should really give it a go to try and lose weight first. And just the easy way too, not even working out, just, you know, maybe eliminating drinking from Monday to Friday, tightening up your diet, and most of the time it will improve what you look like way more than going under the knife. And even way more than getting a haircut or getting buff, because in this regard, he hasn't got a six-pack, he doesn't look incredibly muscular, but he just looks way more like sleek and put together and whatnot. Like, that's all it is. And all he's done is well, not all, it's still a big achievement, but he's essentially just lost weight. He's still got the same sort of haircut that he has. He's maybe grown a beard. That's obviously helped. Same tattoos and stuff. Still the same type of dude, but just losing weight has definitely improved his looks, I feel like, overall by, you know, a factor of maybe 100. And also what that ends up doing, it ends up making you walk a bit taller too, because you feel confident. So usually when it comes to looks and stuff, it's rarely about, you know, oh, do you look like a fucking runway model? And more so about the kind of confidence that you exude on the inside. And you don't exude confidence on the inside if you don't feel good about yourself. So it doesn't matter if you look like, you know, whatever. If you feel good about yourself, it's gonna exude. You're gonna give that vibe off of like, yeah, I feel powerful, I feel this, and whatever it may be. And I really, really like that. A good example is Lizzo. Say what you want about Lizzo, and you know, I don't think I could ever be as comfortable as she is, being the size that she is. But Lizzo, you can tell she believes she's a bad bitch. She believes she's hot as fuck, and I think that kind of comes through when you kind of see her talk and whatnot. Again, you could not be into her, and some people are gonna scream, she's ugly. Okay, cool. Put your likings to one side. You can't deny that that's not a confident young woman. She legitimately believes that she's the shit, and I feel like that kind of comes through. But I feel like sometimes the dudes, I know with me, I sometimes, you know, I already have a bit of an ego anyway. But when I start looking trim and I walk past a mirror and I'm looking flipping, you know, I'm looking lean and mean, you know, Alton Mason summer, and I'm perusing down there, my little Saint Laurent jeans and my little flipping, you know, Cuban heels, clicking and clacking along the street. Yeah, brother, I feel good. So yeah, that's my vibe. I'm feeling good about it. I love to see this on a Saturday because I was tempted to go out, but since I've seen that picture of this video of Posty looking the way he did, I didn't go out. I whacked up the stream to keep me indoors. I'm on the water, and we're doing this, man. We're doing this. But yeah, big up Post Malone. He's looking tight, he's looking lean, and he's looking tight. And can you tell I'm hyped? You can tell I've been outside on a bike ride, innit? I'm flipping jazzed, man. Yeah! Oh shit, sorry. Wow, sorry, that went through the wrong hole. Oh shit, I'm jazzed. I am jazzed. Okay, let's go. Oh, I'm gonna choke on fucking water. Come on, come on. If you want to see me choke on water, get the C's. Get the C's in the chat. C's in the chat if you want to see me choke on water. Come on, C's in the chat if you want to see me choke on water. Let's choke out here, baby. Let's choke. Come on. Come on. Oh, C's in the chat if you want to see me choke. Woo! They want to see me die. 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 Let's go. Okay, cool. Anyway, whoo, I'm getting hot. Sorry. Oh God Almighty, yeah. That African man smell's coming out. You know the African man smell when you start jumping too much and you start sweating and you've got a jacket tied up. When I open this, the mist that will come out of this is mad. But yeah, big up my African man them. So moving on from that one. Moving on. This is a topic that I want to talk about. And I've got hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from with this, right? But I think I've maybe got a bit of a different opinion based on other people out there. I legitimately think, right? This is my own theory. You don't have to agree with me, but I legitimately think stuff like this is a PSYOP. This is a video of Sam Smith recently at a live performance in a very racy outfit that people are going crazy about. Let me play the video.
You challenge me for telling you my fantasy. I'm breaking all the rules I did not make.
In my opinion, I think this shit is a PSYOP. Why do I say that? I think it's a PSYOP because I think they're doing this stuff on purpose to make us hate one another. That's my hot take on it. It's like similar with that flipping video of Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light. I think they're doing it on purpose to make us hate each other. Because why is it important for us, or why do we need to know, or why are they pushing it in this sort of certain way, clipping the videos of the way they're clipping them, the Dylan Mulvaney thing? They're doing it in a design to make us hate each other. We're going through whatever we're going through in the world, financially, economically, societally. You know, just in Paris now, that whole city in France was on fire because they're deciding to raise the minimum flipping retirement age up to 64 when it was previously 62. Benefits in the UK here are being cut. You know, people can't get houses and whatnot. Rents are going up. My rent has gone up basically 200 pounds since flipping last year. Everything is flipping going crazy. And to distract us from all those things that we actually need to be paying attention to, they insert all these stupid little PSYOPs, like the Dylan Mulvaney thing with Bud Light. Essentially, what they did with that Dylan Mulvaney thing is they gave all right-wingers an excuse to be extremely transphobic, to the point where Kid Rock is getting a flipping gun out and shooting all those flipping boxes of fucking Bud Light. If he's doing that figuratively, who is he actually shooting at? He's basically pulling out a strap and killing all these trans people that he deems to be people that shouldn't be in society, or whatever it may be. That's what he's kind of doing. He's obviously not doing it, but he's kind of doing the same thing. And these videos, these clips of Sam Smith, we already know what time he's on. We already know what Sam Smith likes to do. Leave the guy alone. I personally don't like the music. I personally think his music sucks. And I don't think, and it's like that meme. They have a line of somebody that going crazy and then someone say, oh, there's no way your music calls for that performance. I don't think there's anything in Sam Smith's discography that calls for him to be up on stage in thigh-high boots, fishnets, tight black panties, and elbow-length flipping black and red gloves. I don't think, and some like dazzlers on his nipples. There's nothing in his discography for me, I feel like warrants that kind of outfit. But he's definitely on that time. He's in his little David Bowie phase. He's experimenting. He's having fun. Let him do what he wants. Leave the guy alone. His fans like it. He obviously likes it. What's with this stuff that they're doing now? These accounts, these like end wokeness accounts, these libs of TikTok accounts, I legitimately think they are psyops made to fucking anger, frustrate, and get people hot and bothered so that they can go out and actually take physical flipping go to physical means to kind of end the things that they don't like to see on the internet. It's horrible, man. I absolutely hate it. Honestly, Sam Smith is terrible. His music is legitimately like on like Adele level in terms of like, I don't care for it. I hear it, I won't even know it's him singing. I could give no fucks about it. But this constant putting him out there of like, oh, what's he doing? He's the devil, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if he is a devil and if this stuff does disturb you, guess what you do? You just don't check it out. It's not that big of a deal, baby. I don't see it that big of a deal. I don't get it. This is clearly done for his fans. It's clearly done to troll. Okay, cool. Whatever it may be. Let him rock. Let him do what he wants. I just don't see the need to constantly flip and push this shit in our faces and make us care about it when we clearly don't give a fuck. It's annoying. I fucking hate it. And I think it's done legitimately to make us all hate each other. I honestly do think so. Because in the grand scheme of things, only Sam Smith fans care about this sort of shit really and truly. We don't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to know what you guys think in the stream chat. What's your guys' thoughts on here? I find it try hard and cliche as well. Nobody can make me care about this. Exact. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for saying that. Majority of society doesn't care who you are or what you do. Just walk before. Exactly. There we go. Yes. And I think we can all agree. Mostly, all of us agree. No one wants to see fucking drag queens reading to kids in libraries. But how often does that happen? And if it does happen, let's put an end to it. Especially if they're going in there doing fucking striptease. But if a drag queen is just sitting there reading them a book, dressed up in what she's dressed up in, it's no different than a clown reading them a book. They're just wearing a fucking costume. It's not that big of a deal. Like, we've all got common sense, but they always keep heightening it, like, and pushing it to the fringes of these groups, like the super, super hardcore liberals and then the super, super right-wingers, and then they're arguing about stuff that us in the middle don't really care about, but it's flipping polluting our flipping newsfeed. I hate it. It's so annoying. It really is annoying. Like, because let's think about it this way. Let's be let's agree with the right wingers. Even if we agree with the right wingers and he is evil and what he's putting out is harmful for children, I still think he's trolling. A part of me still thinks Sam Smith knows exactly what he's doing and he's legitimately trolling these guys and they keep sharing what he's doing and essentially in a weird way making him incredibly rich, making him incredibly more visible out there and whatnot. And in the game of pop music, which he's in, he basically is paid by how much attention he gets in a weird roundabout way. So it always kind of, contributes to his bottom line. But there's a part of me that also thinks, yeah, he probably is trolling on purpose. So, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. It's fucking annoying, man. I hate all of it. I wish we could all kind of get along, or if not even get along, just learn to ignore each other. That's where we need to go to in this new kind of like post-cancel culture era. Instead of being a cancel culture person, just ignore something. Hey, I don't like what you said. I think what you said is fucking dumb. I might clip it and talk about it, but I'm not going to call your sponsors. I'm not going to demand for you to get fired or get deplatformed. No, I'm just going to ignore you. I'm going to clip what you said. I'm going to make fun of it. And then I'm going to continue on with my day. That's what it should be about. That's what it should be. Not fucking reporting, not getting crazy, not pulling out fucking AR-15 and blasting, tins of fucking beer that you bought with your own money because you're trying to make a stand against Bud Light. Of all flipping beers, Bud Light? It tastes like fucking cat piss. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, God almighty. I hate all of it. But yeah, what do I know? What do I know? So what's I going to do? Because I need to play. Why isn't this? Why can't I hear? I can't hear some of this stuff on my headphones. Let me see if it plays now. I need to double check this, make sure I've got this right here. It should be. I don't know why that's not working now. Why can't I hear that on my headphones? It's sounding really. Maybe it's because. Oh man. You guys can hear me right though, right? In the mic. Can you guys hear me? I think you can, right? Because my headphones are a bit messed up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know in the stream chat if you can hear me clearly. But I think these headphones I might have to change to my mic. I think the cable on this is a bit fucked up. Yes, okay, cool. They can hear me. Okay, cool. You can hear me. You can hear me. It's good to hear. Thank you for the confirmation, my fellow human beings. Next on the list, let's quickly mention this. Have you guys seen this? This is pretty hilarious, right? Everybody is going crazy about this story regarding Hakimi, the player for PSG, and his wife basically trying to divorce him. And then when she goes to court, she finds out that he has none of his assets or his wealth in his name. It's all in his mum's name. And I guess because women on social media, how it's portrayed when they're going through divorces, usually are the ones who kind of quote unquote win the big, financial settlements. People are maybe seeing this as a rare victory for men. Like some of the men out there are going crazy and rejoicing it, and some of the pick-me girls are, joining in and starting to celebrate too. And one of the pick-me's is this young lady called STEFFLON Don. She stepped in and said the following. As a tweet here, courtesy of Shadeborough, she says, "No woman." Oh, let's get it up here. Oh, can I get it there? You got it. It doesn't animate. You'll hear me say it. It says, "No woman should be entitled to half of a man's earnings if she hasn't struggled with and help him get there." This is ridiculously moronic. Number one, because what does struggle mean? What does help mean? How do you grade that? It's all really kind of, I think, situational, circumstances based. This whole idea about how you split the monies up between couples when they're going through a divorce is just hard to kind of wrangle and to make sense, really, in the grand scheme of things. If we were being honest, it's really hard to say who deserves what money. Because scenario one, I'll give you. You've got a couple in LA. The husband's an actor. The woman is a stay-at-home mum, but she doesn't really look after the kids. Nannies do. But they've been together for 20 years. What does that mean? If they get divorced after 20 years, does that mean she's not entitled to some money for looking after the household, even though she doesn't actually look after the kids? It gets a bit murky that way. You know what I mean? So all these things are really kind of confusing. And again, it's all circumstances based. And in general, it's just no one's business, really. And that's where people kind of involve themselves in these sort of things. It doesn't really bother people in the grand scheme of things. The funny thing about it when it comes to Hakimi is that in this instance, the woman probably has more of a reason to be able to claim some money from this divorce because of the circumstances around it. And if you don't pay attention to football, you wouldn't know that Hakimi is currently being accused by a young lady of rape. The story goes that when his wife and his kids went away somewhere, he decided to invite some Jezzy around to his house, or some young lady of the night, and then they got into some situation that may or may not have resulted in consensual sex or in rape. And she's now accusing him of said thing. And because of that, the wife decided in a quite principled manner to say, you know what? I'm not going to stand for this, so I'm divorcing you. And when she's divorcing him now, she wants to claim something because of the time they've been together, and they've obviously got some kids. She then goes to court and finds out none of the assets or the wealth are in his name. They're all in his mum's name because he's a bit of a mummy's boy. That's actually not something to kind of celebrate and gloat over, because the guy's been accused of rape. Now, it could be innocent. It could be just completely innocent, and it could be kind of slanderous charges. And if that does happen, I'm kind of one of those people who feel like if you are somebody that puts out false rape allegations, you should be also tried in court in some way, especially if you go to the point where you're charging somebody. If you just say somebody raped you and then change your mind later on, cool. It's still bad and super, evil to do to somebody if it didn't happen. But if you go as far as, filing charges against somebody, going to court, and it then kind of transpired that thing didn't happen and you made it up in your head, you should be, liable in some way also. But whilst the guy is in the investigation, everybody should be kind of like, we should just put our hands up and say, hey, let the courts decide. But it shouldn't be a case of like, oh, he's a victor. Look how smart he was. He hid the money away from his wife and put in his mum's name so that he could do what? He could do some scum shit. He could allegedly, supposedly rape people and get away with it, and not have to kind of suffer the consequences of it when his wife divorces him. Nah, I don't like that, man. I think it's nonsense. I think it's crappy, and I think people should maybe read up on the story first before they get too excited about it. Read up on the story first before they get too excited about it. Moving on from that one, we got this really funny and somewhat cute story. This is courtesy of flipping NBC News. You seen this? Florida girl, of course she's from Florida, 12, stole her dad's car and took her friend on a 400-mile drive to possibly see person they met online, officials say. Did you hear that? A 12-year-old girl stole her dad's car, drove to her friend's house, and then went on a 400-mile drive to go meet somebody else. I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm hoping that the friend that they're talking about wasn't some grown man that was kind of catfishing them. I'm hoping it was just another friend. I'm hoping it wasn't a fucking Crystalia situation, allegedly, or a flipping Bobby Lee situation. I'm hoping it was just a friend from school that they were going to go meet up that they were kind of missing, because that's kind of cute. But if it was somebody else catfishing and pretend to be a kid and it was an adult, I want somebody. No, I can't say what I want to do, but I hope the worst for them. You know, I hope the worst. That is horrible, but I'm hoping it's a cute story. I really, really am. Anyway, we read the article. The 12-year-old girl stole her father's car and picked up her friend, and the pair drove across state lines, possibly to meet a person they'd met online, officials said. But the girls turned themselves in after they saw their faces on TV. Oh my God. That's the benefit of having local television, right? Because America's so big, you have these flipping, we have it too in the weird way. We have like BBC South, BBC North, but it's not really, you know, that local. But you guys, because you have such a big country, you have so many states, you have specific local television shows. So you can put out local alerts on your TV shows that everyone can see if they're within that kind of radius of where you live, which is pretty cool. So you basically can't miss it if somebody puts out an alert and you live in that, you know, that principality. It continues. A missing child alert was issued on Thursday morning for the 12-year-old, and after the girls were last seen in their hometown of Lake Butler in Florida, believed to be traveling on Interstate 10 towards Louisiana. NBC News did not identify the girls. Chief Deputy Captain Lynn Williams and Union Chief Sheriff's office said the department had information that the girls could have been traveling to meet somebody met online. It's not clear how old that person is. Oh my God, look how far they went. Wow. 2 children drove. The missing children were located safe in Bayou Labate, Alabama, far from their hometown in Florida. They traveled to another state. Oh my God, to the edges. They nearly were heading into Mississippi. That is absolutely wild. Whoa! Alerts were issued on National Center of Missing Persons, with special attention of areas of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Williams. Baton Rouge is a rough area, right? That's where all the rappers are from. So they were going to a rough part of town, man. God damn. Officials said that there was no adult was with them and that no foul play had been expected. The girls ultimately saw themselves on TV in a missing child alert at a gas station. Oh my God. American people, my American friends out there, surely you would do a little double take. If you're in a flipping gas station, picking up some snacks from yourself, maybe a little glizzy to shove down your esophagus, surely you would do a double take if you saw a fucking 12-year-old say, sorry, could I have 20 on pump 12, please? 20 on pump 12, 5 on pump 12. Like, surely you would flipping do a double take, like, huh? Surely. Or do your 12-year-olds out there look like fucking Serena Williams? No way, mate. A 12-year-old's a 12-year-old. God almighty. It would make more sense if a gas station employee called up the missing person and said, hey, I think these girls are the ones on TV. But the fact that the girls were the ones that saw themselves and then handed themselves in is crazy. The gas station employees didn't see it. No one else in the other cars at the gas station waiting at the pump saw it. No one. Like, God almighty, mate. Wow. What do we say now? 12-year-olds look like Kylie Jenner. Okay, cool. Wow. The same afternoon, Union County Sheriff Office announced that the alert had been cancelled and the girls had been found safe in Bayou Labate. Is that how you say it? Bayou Labatry, about 400 miles from their hometown. Multiple agencies looked for the girls, including FBI and Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Raw Ted. How come the FBI got? Maybe that's a good thing. They got in so quickly. I'm assuming. Let me guess. I don't want to be that kind of guy, but let me guess. If the FBI and local alerts were sent out, I'm gonna guess these girls weren't black. It shouldn't matter because they're still young girls. I understand, but I'm gonna guess they weren't black, and maybe at least one, if not two, was white. They got the FBI involved, like straight away, within like 24 hours. Come on. Williams said that there was some suspicious circumstances that raised red flags about the online person the girls have been trying to meet, and the matter was turned over to the FBI. Wow, man. It's looking spooky, isn't it? It's looking like they were going to get... Right. It's actually a good thing they got spotted then. God almighty. God almighty. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'm happy they're safe anyway regardless, but what an amazing and crazy thing to do. I legitimately think this is crazy because I grew up so, like, you know, so flipping... I was so pussified basically growing up. I didn't really do anything crazy naughty, like sneaking out and stuff. I may have stayed out late. If I said I was going to come back at 12, I came back at like 4 or 6, right? That's the most I did, but I never kind of snuck out to go somewhere and disappeared without saying where I was going. So I can't imagine shit like this. Like, this is crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, I would legitimately... I might die in my own house if I did that at 12. But then I also know that you guys, I think in the UK, we've got the kind of benefit that we have is that for the most part, growing up, I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but in the most part, growing up, all of my dad's cars, all my parents' cars were all manuals. I think maybe only until I started to go to university, or maybe that's when my parents started to maybe buy manuals. Automatics. But all of our cars that we grew up with were always flipping stick shift. So I don't know how to fucking drive a stick shift, but to drive an automatic is like driving a go-kart in a fucking fun fair. It's so easy. Like, drive, put your foot on the pedal. Like, it's not hard in the slightest. Especially if you know how to play computer games, right? In some regard, you could basically get away with it. So a lot of these kids could probably do that quite easily, because of the cars that most people have nowadays are fairly easy to drive, crazy power steering and whatnot. Like, you know, they've all come with GPS or whatnot. So it's easy to kind of jump into a car if you're a kid and basically drive for the most part and do the bare minimum. It's pretty easy. But when I was growing up, everyone with stick shift was having a car. So imagine trying to drive a stick shift car when you're like 12 or 13. It's like, it's not happening, mate. Not happening in the slightest. What's everyone saying in the chat? Just because they're in the early 20s doesn't make it right. Everyone should know. We had 2 black children kidnapped from foster care in New York, and they issued an alert for them and found them in Alabama. Rachel. Okay, damn it, Rachel. Damn you for disproving my fucking racial propaganda. God almighty, I hate when people talk sense. I hate when people talk sense and flipping offer up alternatives and fucking facts that fucking dispel whatever notion I have in my head. I hate it. I hate when people disprove me. It gets on my nerves, but big up Rachel. Thank you for that. All people saying in the chat here, guys, keep it silly. We discussed the podcast here. Oh, people are getting silly. People are getting serious. It's always Florida, man. Never Florida woman or girl. This is hilarious. Change of pace. Yeah, very true there. Hate when people talk sense. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, big up Rachel. Big up Rachel for completely, blowing up my flipping narrative. This racial narrative. They're trying to steal our black girls, man. They're trying to steal all the black girls. It's crazy how there's a cabal of guys a cabal of Crystalias stealing up all the black children. Anyway, let's move on. Oh yeah, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? This is also a PSYOP to me. This stuff is also a PSYOP. This is a tweet taken from End of Wokeness Twitter account where they basically take a screenshot of all of these period piece dramas and stuff that are currently on TV or that were on TV, and they for some reason decided to cast all these black women in these roles. It's fucking hilarious, right? You got Charlotte White English, you got Anne Boleyn, played by a black woman. Someone thought Cleopatra was a black lady. At most, Cleopatra probably looked like Kim Kardashian. She didn't look like fucking Serena Williams. People need to relax. Jarl Hakan, white male Viking. Oh, yeah. From Vikings is amazing. So, we all know this is wrong, right? All of us know this is wrong. And if anything, this is kind of racial virtue signaling, right? You're trying to basically appease people by... It's just nonsense. Whereas I feel like if you check out channels like... is it called The History Guy? What's he called again? Because I'm really into these YouTube channels that really got nice history channels. Let me double check. Is it history? Yeah, it is. There's a YouTube channel called History Guy, and he's this dude that wears a bow tie, and he's got a really good channel. There's another one called Kings and Generals? I used to watch. Is it Kings? Let me see. Kings and Generals. Let me double check on my phone here. Kings Yeah, Kings and Generals. Anyway, check those two accounts out. History Guy and Kings and Generals, right? Those two YouTube accounts are really good because they really offer some really interesting documentaries on history and usually kind of give you maybe more information on stuff that you maybe have heard about in the past. But what they usually do a good job of is highlighting, like, you know, the part different races or whatever it may be played in history or in like historical events. And I feel like there are way more real, accurate historical events that happen that feature black and brown people that should be put on the big screen, that need to be put on the big screen, as opposed to fucking putting Denzel Washington as fucking Robin Hood. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not some. It's a figment. It's a fucking. It's not. It's a made up story. I understand that, but the idea of fucking changing all these historical figures to be black or brown or Asian and stuff is just annoying. Why not go into history books, find all these amazing black and brown people who are kind of, you know, overlooked and their stories weren't told in a modern way, and then put those up on TV? That's way more interesting, in my opinion. That's than doing all this nonsense. Like, really? Anne Boleyn was a black woman? Are you being for real? Some lady, some guy in the flipping Viking era was maybe the mixed race Viking could make some sense. Maybe there's a slight one. But again, find that original story. Find the story of whatever slave ended up in fucking Scandinavia or whatnot, or the Nordic lands, and then tell that story. But don't just like change somebody's race because you want to appease people nowadays. It's just fucking annoying. And then of course, what's his face? Elon decided to jump in there, said odd for period pieces, and everyone went crazy and everyone clapped and stuff. I just think, again, this stuff is another psyop for me. This is more psyop operations made for us to hate each other. And you know, the other one, psyop to, you know, to make us hate trans people, psyop to make us hate gay people, and psyop to make us hate blacks, to hate me. How can you hate me? Come on, man. How can you hate me? I'm not doing nothing to you. I just drink water sometimes. You know, that's all I do. Come on, man. Let's all love each other. Let's all be friends. But let's also stop fucking changing people's colors in movies and just tell the actual accurate ones. There's that story of that fucking samurai in Japan, the black samurai, right? It was a slave that then became a samurai. Important person, historical figure. I think there's a Netflix animation about it, but it's pretty crap. Tell that story on the big screen. Make that a movie. Make that a TV series. That's fucking impressive. Cool. There's another black general that took part, I think, in the French Revolution. I think if I'm not mistaken, the French Revolution, there's a black general that took part. I think he was maybe from, anyway, somewhere in Africa again. Tell that story. There's many of stories in history that could be told on the big screen, but they don't because they're on some other shit. Oh, yeah, Mo, on Lantana Block, you know what I mean? Lantana Block cripping. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm not cripping. I'm the opposite of cripping, mate. I'm flipping mipping. That's what I am. I'm the opposite of cripping. I'm flipping mipping. But yeah, be a bit in the stream chat. Moving on from this one. Have you guys seen this? Look at that, eh? New couple alert. First of all, you had what's his name? Who's that woman? Who's that really wrinkly looking lady? What's her name again? Wrinkly looking white lady comedian. Is it Chelsea Handler? Is that her name? Yeah, Chelsea Handler and Joy Coy, right? Chelsea Handler, Joy Coy, they were one of the first comedy couples that we saw, new ones. And now we may see a new comedy couple. We have Whitney Cummings and Lex Friedman, eh? Yeah, exactly, Dave H. Lex Cummings, right? Pretty cool, isn't it, right? I see everybody on the subreddit, on the Joe Rogan subreddit saying, oh, Lex got friend zoned with this picture of Whitney that she took of her and Lex at, I think, Joe Rogan's club and posted on Instagram story. Everyone's saying he got friend zoned, but I've got a feeling, this is just my own personal feeling with no information or idea of what I'm talking about in the slightest. But it wouldn't surprise me if Lex is an undercover sniper. If Lex actually does FUGG CHIGS, as Brendan says. It wouldn't surprise me if Lex FUGG CHIGS. And it also wouldn't surprise me if Lex does really well with older ladies. He's got that kind of vibe of a guy that absolutely slays mums and maybe near grandmothers. Grandmothers. I've got a feeling that is the case. And I've also got a feeling that Whitney will be into him. Say what you want about Whitney. She's kind of annoying, right? Kind of hard to watch her content in long bursts. She's kind of like a female Bert Kreischer. But one thing I would rate Whitney about, and she kind of gives us that vibe, she doesn't strike me as an overly superficial person. Obviously, she would prefer it if her partners were somewhat good looking, but I don't think she is somebody that would care as much as people think that she would care about looks or anything. I think she'd give somebody a chance if they just got along and they had a good vibe or whatnot and they connected. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were dating. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, she seems like somebody that will be cool, will give you a shot and whatnot, get a bit freaky, you know what I mean? Hang out and whatnot, have a couple of drinks, see Wagwan, and then see how it kind of goes. But I don't think she would write you off. She's not like an Elijah Schlesinger, right? Who would tell you, like, hey, what's your bank account? What do you look like? And if you don't match up, then, you know, go skedazzle. She doesn't seem like that type of person. She seems kind of good vibes. And if you have good vibes and you click, I think it would work. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lex oddly gets chicks, because I think people are saying online he's a virgin. I think that's a bit mean to say that. I don't think he is, but people do think that. I think he slays the pool manani, right? The AI nani, he definitely slays it. He's definitely got his finger in his flipping USB ports of his computer. You know what I mean? He's definitely on his USB ports of his computer. You know what I mean? Like, tickling the USB ports over there. But when he's not doing that, I think he definitely does get his fair share of ladies. Just my opinion. I think looking in, I think he gets his fair share of women's like him a little bit. I think so, personally. So I wouldn't be surprised if Whitney said, yeah, well, go and jump in. I wouldn't be surprised, let's jump in. Oi, talking about Whitney. And I was doing it only for the research of the fucking videos I was making before, because I stopped really making videos now because, you know, she's kind of, you know, I don't know. It's not for me. And usually when I'm just not into stuff, unless it's Brendan, I just stop flipping checking it out. But have you guys seen the Whitney subreddit? I don't know if it still existed, if it's still out there, but there was a specific Whitney subreddit where I'm going to say they are legit, because I don't like to use the term, I think it's a little bit overused, but they were legit incels, I feel like, that were posting clips and videos of Whitney Cummings, I don't know, standing up, and you could see like the crevice of her bum, or moving her shirt and her tits move a little bit. It was so weird, like a whole subreddit full of like these little clips that people put together and zoom ins and stuff, like really, really worrying, like the weird things people do that, and they exist. I'm not sure, I'm sure she does, Whitney, but again, that's what I was thinking in my head. Whitney strikes me as the kind of person that knows that it exists and she plays into it a little bit. Like, and I don't mind that person. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it kind of, because I don't think it's a bad thing. I remember I had a friend, I still have a friend at the moment who DJs, right? This girl that I know who DJs. And I remember there was a time when I was speaking to her and she was asking me for advice. But again, I don't know why people ask me for advice, because it's not as if I'm fucking Carl Cox or anything. But I remember she was asking me advice for something. And I was saying to her, like, not to be rude or anything, but you should maybe lean into your assets. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, come on. Right? And she's obviously very blessed in the flipping Chester's area. And I was like to her, you know what? Lean into it, because at least you're going to get some traction with it. And it may kind of help you get some eyes on what you do. But then once you get the attention, you can then prove that you've got more behind it. It's not just superficial. You can be like, hey, you kind of clicked on me because you saw my big boobs, but now you're finding out that I can actually DJ really well. That's not a bad thing. I don't think so. Especially if you're the one playing the game. You kind of string it along, you play the game. It's like Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt is never going to smash any of the guys that flipping, you know, are simping and reply guying and everything that she does and double tapping it. But she serves her little community, her little fan base. She chucks out a little pool picture here and there. I'm changing. I got some new jeans. Oh my God, these sandals fit amazing. You know, get your likes or get whatever it may be. And it pays her bottom line. She's married happily with a family and that's chilling out. But she gets paid something for what she, you know, from how she's been blessed by the gods with her looks. Why not lean into it a little bit? And I feel like Whitney Cummings would be mature and smart enough to lean into it pretty well. So it wouldn't surprise me, some of those clips that they've got, she maybe purposely engineers them. Like, oh my God, my jumper's so tight, it didn't fit over my boobs. Oh my God, look, I took off my top and you can see the under thing of my bra, because some of the clips on there are a little bit too like, whoa, how long did you guys spend flipping investigating those flipping videos? But it does exist. I'm obviously not going to show you on the screen. If you want to find out where this thing is, go and do your Googles like everybody, all the other creeps out there, and I'm sure you'll find it. But that subreddit does exist. And it's just a subreddit of people clipping, you know, salacious angles of flipping Whitney and shit. It's absolutely bizarre, in my opinion. But What do I know? What do I know? Let's actually ask a stream chat here. Let's see because I think I'm right in this. Does Lex Fridman FUGG CHIGS? Yes or no? Let's see what the stream chat says here. Does Lex Fridman FUGG CHIGS? Yes or no? Let me know in the stream chat. Let me know in the stream chat. Come on, let me know. Let me know. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 di ba ba ba. Is it there? Oh, let me ask a minute. There it goes. Ox now. I'm asking my community. Let me know if you think Lex FUGGs CHIGS, yay or nay. Does he FUGG CHIGS or not? Is it not there? Is it not? Why is it not popping up there? Is an error? Try again. Why is there an error for? Oh, for goodness sake. Let me ask the questions if you don't mind, please, sir. Let me get up here again one more time. Maybe it's just this. Maybe it's a pop-up thing. That's probably why. Let's see if that works. Let's do it again. Let's do it again one more time. Let's see if it works now. Engage. Start a poll. Does Lex Fridman FUGG CHIGS? Yes or no? And of course, the third option is the fan favorite. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it's gonna work now. Bish bash bosh. An error keeps occurring. Okay, I don't know why. Anyway, you heard what I said. Some reason it's not letting me do flipping questions on the stream chat. It keeps telling me I've got an error there. But yeah, man. What people saying anyway? I'll see what you guys are actually saying in terms of the do you think he FUGGs CHIGS or not? Let me read the chat itself and see what you guys think. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, load up stream chat for me. Why or no? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. Does Lex Fridman FUGG CHIGS? Let me know in the flipping stream chat. Yes for, Y for yes, N for no, and A for Ox J. Y, N, Y. Oh, it's 50-50, looks like 50-50. Y. Lex claps them cheeks, even, yeah. Lex FUGGs Whitney. Lex Y, N, Y. Okay, people got faith in X. Yeah, I have faith in him, man. I don't buy the virgin vibes at all. I don't buy it. Just because he's a little bit, on the spectrum doesn't mean he's a virgin. And even being a virgin, nothing wrong with being a virgin whatsoever, mate. Especially in this day and age. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what people got between their legs. He's rich and known. Baddie reply. Spectrum, ZX Spectrum. David ZX Spectrum. He put on imagine Lex putting on slow jams. Imagine that. Lex has got like an old 90s flipping R&B playlist with like 112 and shit, like Blackstreet. Whoa! I wanna get freaky with you. I wanna look it up and down. Imagine him doing that. Wow. Anyway, moving on. Okay, next one to talk about here is this. What do you guys think about this? It looks like busy BERT KREISCHER will be on Family Feud very soon. He's got glasses on to look like he's grown up. He's got a shirt on, buttoned up. It's not taken like a long sleeve, it looks like. And he looks like he's been given a little bit of a makeover. Look like they've trimmed his beard. They've got rid of the flipping, hot dog skin he has on him and stuff. He's looking somewhat put together, but his face is still super puffy. This is going to be interesting because I'm sure he's doing this because of his movie coming out soon. And I'm also going to say this as a flipping guess, as a prediction. I predict in some way, along the way, on that show, he will take off his shirt. It's bound to happen. He's gonna take it off as a big applause break and shit. It's gonna happen. So on Family Feud, he's gonna be there. A question's gonna come up, and he's gonna randomly say, "1 second, Steve Harvey," and then take his shirt off. And there'll also be a joke included there of him mentioning to Steve Harvey how much his wife fancies him, because I think his wife, Leanne, has basically got the hots for Steve Harvey or something, right? He's going to mention that. For sure he's going to mention it. So we're going to hear him mention that, yeah, my wife's got a hall pass for you, and make it weird and do that kind of white man humor of like, yeah, I'm a cuck, I'd let you smash my wife, that kind of nonsense humor, right? Very low effort, hacky comedy. And he's also going to do the most hack move ever and take off his shirt. Watch. It's going to happen. And then that's going to get clipped, and that's going to come out. So yeah, it's going to happen. But he's on Family Feud. So clearly it also shows, maybe I think, because there was a period in time, because I used to listen to Bert Kreischer's podcast, because I maintain that Bert Kreischer, similar to fucking Ari Shaffir, even though they're probably two of the most they're two of the comedians, sorry, I can't get my thoughts together. They're two of the comedians within the JRE Extended Universe who probably divide opinion more outside of Brendan Schaub. I think are Ari Shaffir and Bert Kreischer. But I think Ari Shaffir and Bert Kreischer, especially Ari, he has one of the most underrated podcasts out there. His podcast is actually really good. He actually comes across really well. He gives good interviews. The topics are really, really interesting. And I love the thing that he does where he gives the guests money, because he's really big on like helping out comics and stuff, and he knows how hard it is coming up. So when people come on as guests on his show, I think it's something that doesn't get spoken about too often, but he gives them like $200 or something, or whatever it may be, like just as a kind of as a thank you for coming on the show, which is a really nice thing to do, because he gets on some people that you probably don't know anything about, their local comics and stuff just starting up, or people that he's really interested to, that you want to kind of hang out with and talk about things on, especially when it comes to travel. He has probably one of the best podcasts if you're looking for somebody to talk about travel, like travel and kind of wanderlust and kind of going out there backpacking and shit. He has some great stories about it, because he's a proper traveler. Like, he doesn't just jump on a private jet like these guys and hang out in flipping resorts and villas and shit. He actually goes and does what we would do, like regular people, and go and actually, you know, hang out, Google fucking search places to go and chill out, get recommendations from locals and stuff, maybe try and score some gear. Like, he does all that stuff, so he's pretty good. So those two guys, I think podcasts are great. Anyway, all that to say, long story short, when I used to listen to Bert Kreischer's podcast, in the beginning of Bertcast, there was a feeling you got from that show that his family, especially his kids, had a really kind of hard relationship, or they kind of find it hard to kind of get around the idea that Bert was famous and he was a comedian, and the fact that he kind of went, you know, he used his family as material. He kind of mined them for bits and his jokes, and it was a little bit of a point of conflict a little bit with his family, especially his kids. And I think maybe because they were growing up, because maybe I think they're teenagers now, I think. So maybe that was a reason too. They're kind of coming into their own. They kind of want to be autonomous and live their own lives and whatnot. Maybe that was part of it. But that was an issue for a long period in time. And it felt like he was kind of struggling, because he legitimately feels like the kind of guy that wants to talk about his family on stage because he thinks it's funny, and maybe because he doesn't have anything else to talk about. And he obviously, I think, was also in a bit of he had a kind of a reason also, because he's basically the main breadwinner, and if he's, you know, essentially providing for everybody in the household with the jokes he tells on stage, he should be allowed to say whatever he wants to the fuck on stage. I mean, because everyone's basically benefiting from his flipping talent or his skill or his craft or his job or whatnot. So it feels like if this Family Feud thing is happening, it's pretty safe to say that Leanne Kreischer, Leanne Kreischer, whatever you fucking say her name, Bert's wife, and his kids are now got to a point now where they're comfortable being basically known as Bert Kreischer's kids and wife. They want to be there as well and be a part and be in the limelight. Leanne, you obviously saw it because she's got her own podcast now. So clearly she's more comfortable with that, being the kind of wife of Bert and being known as the wife of Bert. Cool. But I feel like the kids now definitely are comfortable with it. It looks like it. They're definitely comfortable with it going forward. So interesting to see what happens when it goes on and when it happens, because most likely, again, not to be mean, most likely they're probably going to get trolled. That's the unfortunate part about the internet. They're probably going to say some very unflattering things about his wife, about his kids. So I'm hopefully he's prepared for that side of things. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, innit? But yeah, it looks like he's really gearing up for a proper massive media drive. So if you're not a fan of Bert Kreischer, please make sure that you stay away from all of flipping content regarding him, because the next couple of weeks are going to be crazy. He's going to be turning up that fucking self-promotion machine, and you know how much he loves talking about himself. He's going to be absolutely everywhere talking about this movie. And oddly enough, again, to give the guy some props, the movie looks kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. If Cocaine Bear got fucking greenlit and that was terrible, I think Bert Kreischer's movie may do quite well. It may do actually quite well. It actually looks really funny. I'm not gonna lie. So that could be really interesting to see that. And ironic enough, that movie may mean we'll never hear the end of fucking we'll never hear the end of the of the machine story either. Now that he's kind of got another kind of wind under his sails, but the movie does look pretty decent. So I'm really curious to see what happens when it does end up going to theaters and stuff. And obviously, I'll be watching it and reviewing it for the stream. Obviously, watching and doing it for the stream. So, moving on from that one, let's talk about this. Oh, let's go to this one. Let's see this. What you guys saying in the stream chat anyway about that? What you guys saying before I move on? Yeah, he got Bert good. He just tells guests he has his podcast about his life, interrupts them. Like Brendan, true. His wife actually picked the actress, ironically. Oh, really? That's awesome. Krishna has this virus. Ari's entire intention is to be the most hated man in comedy. Yep, that's true. Ari actually puts in the work. Yeah, true, Josie, exactly. Ari's podcast is slightly underrated, man. It doesn't get the ratings it deserves, but it's really up there. It's similar to like Duncan Trussell's podcast. I really enjoyed Duncan Trussell's. His one's really awesome. Matt and Shane's Secret, whatever, that one's really good. I see it from time to time. The Are You Garbage pod is usually pretty good also. There's a few good ones out there, man. There is a few good ones, but Andrew Santino's Whiskey Ginger, I feel like is a really underrated one. Weirdly enough, I enjoy Whiskey Ginger. Oh yeah, big up your chat's looking nice there. Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Big up. Thank you, Uche. I decided because I think my computer keeps crashing anyway. Or no, not the computer. The OBS browser thing keeps crashing. So I thought if I'm gonna have this screen, you might as well have the chat like that. And then when I switch it to the other one, I have it, loading up in the text form. So hopefully it works better. But yeah, let's try something and let's see what I go on. It's not that big of a deal anyway. What was I saying to you guys now? I was saying something before I moved. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So moving on, let's go and dive into some deep waters with Wings of Redemption. Let's see what Wings of Redemption is saying. I like to do my check-in usually on Wings of Redemption and see what his vibe is saying. And then we're going to jump in some comedy mothership stuff and then get into everybody else. So let's see what Wings of Redemption is saying. The latest video, courtesy of one of the best Wings of Redemption channels out there, Breaking Banquet. Please subscribe and check them out if you want to find cool little Wings documentaries and whatnot. They're really good. So please check it out. Oh yeah, Uche saying, Are You Garbage? Episode with Big J. Oh, really? Okay, cool. I'll check that out too. Big J is always really funny and good to give interviews as well. So I'll check him out also. Can't wait for that one. I actually saw there was an episode I saw recently. Punch Drunk Sports is back actually, but I'm not supporting anything with Sam Tripoli in it, so no thank you. But Punch Drunk Sports is back. That was pretty good back in the day. But yeah, there are some good podcasts out there. You just gotta find them. You gotta find them for the most part, and then kind of just stick with them. Tuesdays with Stories I used to really like, with Joe List and Mark Norman, but I feel like that's gone a bit weird. I feel like all these guys do that. As soon as they start getting a little bit of money, they start getting booked, the complaints start to get a little bit more whiny and drama queeny. They just start to get just insufferable and obnoxious. It just turns weird. I honestly love Tuesdays with Stories because they will always really went out their way to always provide the funnies, but that's gone a bit shit. I need to actually get into the Adam Friedman one. Is it Adam Friedland? The guys that used to do Come Town with Stavros. They're separately, right? It's Nick Mullen and the other guy. I need to get into that show because I've heard people say good things about that one. Do you guys watch that show? Is it Adam Friedman or something? Is it called Adam Friedman? Adam Friedland? Is it true? Adam Friedman, Nick Mullen? Yeah, I do the guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, Nick Mullen. So I'm going to have to check out that show because I think that might be one that could be of interest to me. Let's move on. Yeah, Natasha Ski, man. I went for a bike ride. That's why I went for a bike ride. I got sweating because I got a fixed gear bike. So I bought some new pedal straps. I've got a new bike rear light and a front light. So I was smashing it out, like going really fast and showing off, skidding and shit, doing a couple of wheelies. I felt so good. So yeah, so here we are. That's why I'm jacked energy. And I got the water on. So that's why I felt offended when I started the stream. And everyone was like, oh, he's late because he's scoring ketamine. Or because he's in a drunk hole somewhere. No, okay? No, guys. You know me well enough by now via the stream. If I schedule a stream and I don't turn up, that's when I'm mash up. But if I schedule a stream and I'm late, I'm just late, okay? I'm sorry, I know it's bad. I'm professional, I understand, I apologize, but I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna bust. Yeah, big up Crash 1984.
My favorite bike is cocaine.
Yeah!
Smiley
Yeah!
face. Smiley face.
Big up the bike cocaine. My favorite bike is cocaine. I love that. Big up Crash 1984. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. My favorite bike is cocaine. It's like there's a video, there's a live stream, right? I'm not gonna tell you which one. But there's a live stream that I did once in Berlin. A couple, not the most recent one, maybe a couple years ago. I was rewatching it because it came up on my thing. And I think I start off the stream and I'm like, oh yeah, my allergies are really playing up. I'm like this. Yeah, my allergies are really playing up today. So sorry for the stream. I'm looking at it thinking, Agostino, why did you stream after going out to the fucking Berghain the previous day? And I thought it, it was just whatever. And I was fucking twitching all over the place and shit. It's a funny one. I actually might play. I don't like playing videos of me when I'm on stream or whatever maybe, but there was a video like that. Honestly, I was fucking twitching all over the place. But it's funny because I said in the beginning, my allergies. Like, yeah, your allergies, you absolute idiot. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into this video courtesy of Breaking Banquet. Yeah, what's that? Chris Mack, Allergino Zinger strikes again. That's a good fucking DJ name, mate. Agostino Allergino Zinger. That's fucking awesome. I love that. Big up Chris Mack. Anyway, let's get to Wings of Redemption. Enough about me. Enough about victimizing me, guys, because you're hurting my feelings. I'm feeling attacked right now. That's not nice. That's not nice. So let's get into some Wings of Redemption, please. Come on, Wings.
Ain't nobody on this planet got dirt on me because I've never done anything illegal. I'm an outstanding citizen, man. And it's like, I've already came clean of that and apologized in a public manner. Like, I apologized in the New York Times article. That's about as public as you can get.
AR, I'm as tall as Joe Rogan, mate. I'm Joe Rogan height. That's why I like Joe Rogan's podcast. We're the same height. Me and Joe Rogan. Short boys. Short boys.
How much do I know to react to Boogie's new video? I'm not going to.
Boogie?
Yeah.
I'm with you. Somewhere in his spawn.
Back right in their spawn.
Yeah. Wow. He's on the left.
Oh, he busted my ass.
Wow. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be.
By the way, for people that play Call of Duty and shit, is this a common thing that happens when you start playing these games? Because I don't really play video games like that. I used to, but not anymore. Why do everyone that plays these games start why do they start saying all these like back right, all these like right, these kind of things that make them sound like they're in the fucking, like they're in a SWAT, like they're in the fucking I don't know, yeah, like special forces. Is that like a thing that happens when you play Call of Duty too much? You start actually thinking you're actually about that life or whatnot, or is that just what you have to do in the game? Like people start using the terminology of like, actually, I don't know, getting into some sort of flipping gunfight or some shit in real life. What's that about? Why can't you just play the game? Kill people and move on. Why's all this like SWAT right back there? It helps teammates. Duh. I should have known that. My bad. Sorry. I actually don't know. It's multiplayer, so it helps the teammates. True.
That was pause. He said he's about busting my.
Yeah. Mid.
Dude. Oh, every time I get flashbanged.
You know what I love about Wings? How much of a lazy guy he is and how pathetic and he's awesome because I love watching him because he's good motivation. If you feel like you're lazy and you have no ambition, watch Wings and he's going to make you feel good about yourself. And one of the things that makes me laugh about him, you see this little Pikachu here in the back that he's got on a little plinth, right? There's Pikachu here in front of a door. You know why he's got that there? He's got this door that for some reason, I guess it broke or something or whatever, but it doesn't have a door handle on it. People have sent him a door handle that fits the door. People have suggested things. People have offered their services for free, but he hasn't fixed the door handle. He never fixed it once. So it just stays open and it's got the hole in it where the handle goes in. So people keep trolling him about it and putting in the chat and memeing on him. So he got annoyed and instead of fixing the door, he put this thing in front of it and then stuck the Pikachu little teddy bear in front. So people stop asking about it. Instead of just fixing it, he just did all this shit. Or pointing his camera somewhere else. He just did that. Like the most lowest effort ever in the world. I love it. I love Wings, man. He's awesome.
I get flashbang for an hour. This motherfucker gets nanosecond.
Nah, it's not like.
Oh, actually, shit. The volumes are on, is it? Whoopsie. Sorry, guys. The volume wasn't on the whole time.
That's the opposite.
Ooh. Left side.
He sees my laser.
Actually, why is it doing that? Why is it playing the music and the thing at the same time? I don't like that. That's not good. Oh, is that makes it good to call me that? What is it? Why is it doing that? Why is it playing the same thing at the same time? I do not like that. Wait, do I have to mic myself? We could hear. Oh, you could hear it. You could hear it. Really? So you can, if I play this, can you hear this? Can you hear that?
Go.
Dude, I hate the fact that they have lasers on everything. It's like, come on.
I'll do some dumb shit, bro.
We lost twice.
Oh, you know what? I think I
Looking
still.
forward to the fight.
No,
think
like Boogie did some
I,
disrespectful shit recently. And it's like, I worry.
Hold on, I think I still need to do something because I think I messed this up still. Anyway, hold on, let's do that. If I do that, what happens if I play that? So I play it now.
You came clean of that and apologized in a public manner. Like, I apologized in the New York Times article.
Oh, man.
That's about as public as you can get.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't really keep up with anything Boogie or anybody else outside, or what they do, or what they say when videos they upload. Sounds crazy. Actually, I don't even know who Boogie is.
I'd rather take the high road on this. Reloading.
Hit him once on the right side.
No, I'm not showing the contract on stream. I haven't signed it yet. There's just one thing I wanted to go over. Apparently, there's like some type of fee, or like we're supposed to like absorb said fee out of our purse, and I want to know what that fee is before I sign it. Yes, like some type of like licensing like fee, and I want to know exactly how much it is and stuff like that.
Huh.
All right, cool. Because it's not coming up on my end here, so I'm gonna have to change the microphone. 1 second. Bear with me a sec. Let me change the mic back to the normal one because this is not working. I can't hear shit. I can't hear fucking shit. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Cool. All right. Okay. We're back. Can you hear me now? You can hear me, can't you? You can hear me, I'm assuming. You can, can't you? I'm sure you guys can hear me now. Let's change this. Properties. Oh, what am I doing here? Is that the one? No. Properties. What do you want? We want this, innit, right? There we go. Boom. You guys can hear me now, right? Nice and clear, right? Nice and clear, clear and loud. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's put it there. Okay, audio is fine. Yeah, so it's just me, my headphones. The headphones don't work. My bad. I'm getting twitchy. I've got this thing as well. Once I get it in my head that something isn't working, I think some of you may have realized it. I get twitchy. I start wanting to changing things because I don't want it to be shitty on people's watching it back on the flipping playback. So maybe it's one of my insecurities right now, guys. So just be patient with me. Maybe one of my insecurities. Be patient with me, please. Okay, be patient with me, please. Be patient with me. Oh, okay, cool. So we're back now. We're ready to roll. Everything's looking how it should look. Pod mic is installed. Let's hear him. Let me hear him. Let me hear. Yeah. Look at that. We're good. Sounding good. I love it. Back to Wings of Redemption anyway. Let's go.
Oh. Damn. Oh, he rapped all the way.
Yeah, he rapped all the way around. Yeah, silently.
Look how fucking many shots that shit takes. How long? Do you know how long the fight is? How long?
Oh, don't say that, Silver fucking wrench. Really? The other mic was sounded better. For goodness sake. All right, cool. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order it because these don't work. These are fucking broken. So I'm gonna order a new set of USB headphones with this sort of thing on it. I'm going to order another one. It's going to hopefully come on Monday. And I'm going to start using that one. But these are shit. These don't work anymore. These are broken. So I'm going to order another one so I can use it again. But fuck me. So annoying. Anyway, back to Wings.
Are you going to be on the airplane?
9 to 11 hours.
9 to 11 hours? Mm-hmm. I can't stand being on the airplane for more than 2 hours, bro.
Well, that's not factoring in layovers.
Like 2-3 hours. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, you could do big layovers as well. Take a couple. It could take a day or so in worst case scenario. The fight's in London.
Look at everyone trolling me now, Jesse guy. Switch Max again. Tell me to jump out the window and I'll do it. Tell me to jump out the window, I'll do it. Tell me to jump out the window and I'll do it.
I only got 268 damage.
Yeah, it was only one person anyways.
Like, I like a good competitive game. That was a fun match.
That was a fun match. What did he get? 6 kills. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mamma mia.
A good competitive game. That was a fun match.
Oh yeah, that was definitely really competitive.
This map is wide open.
See how bad it is.
It's really wide open. Like, there's very little cover at all.
You gotta hit Boogie with the pedigree at least towards the end of the, of the fight. You just take off your gloves and pedigree him.
Dude, pedigree fucking sucks to take. Like, it's one of those moves wrestlers hate taking because you got to put yourself flat out.
Slight thing that gets me annoyed by him also. This is me just being nitpicky and also judgy, but we all are in our own ways. The thing that annoys me the most about Wings is when he yawns. Ugh. He just starts his stream and he's already yawning. He does this full time. He doesn't work like regular people do, right? Like I do and others. He doesn't work a 9 to 5. All he does is stream all day. He sleeps in and streams whenever, and he doesn't have a schedule either. It's not like he streams at like 9 a.m. every morning. He just gets up when he wants and then streams, and he's always yawning. Then I remember I checked out, I went on flipping Google, and I found out, oh, if you're really overweight, one of the kind of side effects is that you're always tired, and a sign of being always tired is sometimes having high blood pressure or having diabetes and stuff, and that's usually something that's currently, related to your weight and shit. So it's not actually a good sign that he keeps yawning. It's actually a bit of a tell about how, poor health he's in overall. But God, man, the yawning is awful, mate. It's always awful, always awful.
It's a rough gunfight. Watch, I cleared this side. He hasn't crossed. Fuck. He gave up your side, man.
Yeah, my bad.
And also, what happens with games? Maybe I'm the weird one here, but for me, right, I think to myself, like, I used to play games a lot, right? I used to play games quite often back in the day, but I don't play them anymore. But usually, if you're bad at a game and you play it often enough, You just get good at it. If you play it often enough, you play a game often enough, you just end up kind of becoming good. Why is Wings always terrible at these games? I know maybe these channels aren't the best reaction or reflection of his skill because they clip all the bad bits, but he generally looks terrible at these games. He's not that great, and he spends every single day, every hour of the day playing them full time, and he's not really good. Why isn't he really good? Is it the thing with video games nowadays that you have to have talent or something, or you have to maybe just have the skill, or maybe over a certain age you stop getting better? Like, what is it about games nowadays where someone can play it every single day all their life and still not get good? Like, what is going on? That's so weird.
Once you started shooting, I just wrapped back over here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I gotta shoot.
No, there's a contract now. There's no playing me. It's in writing. Damn.
Wow.
No, you can't do that, Jared. That's against the law. He's in this general area. Ain't nobody on this planet got dirt on me because I've never done anything illegal. I'm a outstanding citizen, man.
What? Imagine just saying that flat out about something. I love these zooms as well. Big up Breaking Banquet. The zooms in on the Pikachu. Chef's kiss.
Damn.
Ready up for the next one.
But this man 6'9" got jumped in a restroom by like 3 middle-aged men. Two of them look kind of young. I'm watching it right.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Someone said about he's thick. You know what's funny about him as well? He's so delusional. Like, a lot of these people, and I think I keep saying this all the time, but I maintain, I really do think it's part and parcel of being somewhat a successful flipping streamer, right? You have to have the ability, you have to have a capacity to be delusional. It's a proper integral thing that you need to be successful. Because this guy, this human, he sometimes will say on stream, he's not that big. He just looks bigger because he's sitting down. Or his weight is only in the middle or something. He's like 450 pounds or something, and he doesn't think he's that big. It's like, what? How is that possible? You look fat in your face. Just your hands, you look fat. Your shoulders look fat. Everything about you is fat because guess what? You're fat. And I think sometimes the only way to kind of lose weight, if you want to, is to have some level of acceptance of what you are now so that you can get better. But he doesn't even understand that. And I think that's an internal part. Like, all of them have it. Darkside Phil has it. Wings has that delusion. Brendan Schaub has that delusion. They all have that delusion in their head where they're kind of way better than what they actually are. And I think even though we laugh at it, I think you need that to be them, to keep getting up in the morning and to keep flipping. You know, like Brendan. All the haters are evil. They're liars. They're trolls. They live in their parents' basement. That's the only way you can justify continuing on and putting one foot in front of the other. Because if you give it credence or if you give it validity, it's gonna make you like realize things about yourself that you didn't know, and then you're gonna be like, you know, you're gonna be having a flipping brain melt, and it's not gonna go well. So you kind of have to be a little bit delusional to make it work. I think so. My theory. People say, Chris Mack is saying, no, it's those games specifically. PvP, like Call of Duty. If you don't have adequate vision, decent reaction speed, and good hand-eye coordination, you're sort of screwed. No matter how... Oh, okay. That makes sense then. So essentially, like, good... Because I guess games back when I used to play were just games you got better at over time. But I guess nowadays, games have gotten so good, it's basically like playing a sport. So if you don't have good hand-eye coordination, any sport you play, you're going to be terrible at. If you don't have good balance, good spatial awareness, good athleticism to a certain extent, you're just not going to be good. So I guess with video games, if you don't have, like what Chris Mack says, good dexterity in your fingers, decent eyesight, and reaction speeds and shit, it doesn't matter how long you play, you're going to be stuck on level 1, like our boy Darkside Phil.
Dude, I've got them both one shot. He's one shot as well. You basically have the same health, but you have to get on the flag. He won't.
Like on the flag. Oh.
Dude, I hate fucking lasers, man. So fucking shit. Like, the lasers is the worst thing about this game.
Other guy's to my left.
Yeah.
Oh, back to the pistol.
He's in the building. Don't fight him. Pull him back outside.
Yeah. I can't play with, I have an older brother. When I play with him, he loses like one game and he just rages and shuts off his PlayStation.
It's just a series of mistakes, man. I don't know how to play this back area.
Whatever.
I figured one would be clipping, and I thought the other one was in the building somewhere.
Yeah. He's on a...
And people hate him also on these games because he camps. I guess there's a thing in Call of Duty where people like you to engage more, and he just camps and waits for people to come in his line of sight, and then he shoots. He doesn't actually go out, like, you know, going out for, I guess, a gunfight or whatever it may be, engaging somebody. Is it firefight? Is it firefight, right? I think that's what you call it when you're doing flipping Call of Duty shit. I don't really see it. That's still a tactic, though. I know it's a bit lame, but it's still a tactic, camping. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. He just probably makes it look boring.
A statue, like right in the middle. I think I hit him once. Damn.
Gunfight.
I'm old. My hands gotta get warmed up. He's behind me.
Anyway, you know what? Wings is so fucking boring, even with these react streams, that I'm fucking done. I'm over it. Let's move on. Honestly, this guy is so boring. It's unbelievable, man. It's like, God almighty. It's like he's literally being held, you know, at gunpoint to flip and stream. It's absolutely crazy. He has legitimately one of the best jobs in the world if you love to play computer games, where he gets to flip in live stream playing games and people flip and pay him exorbitantly for it. And he's there with a... Gonna get some water. Yeah. There's a series of mistakes. Left, right, understick. It's like, come on, man. Cheer up. Cheer up. Anyway, moving on from that one, let's talk about what we need to talk about here. So, there's this little documentary out that I haven't watched just yet by this YouTube account called Ghost Gum. And it features our boy, BERT Crystals. Bint Krishners is now the flipping target of a YouTuber. You know, YouTubers make flipping decent documentaries, so I'm sure this documentary is going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to check it out. It's called Lies and Alcohol. Well, that's the thumbnail, but the actual title is called The Biggest Liar in Comedy, featuring BERT KREISCHER. Let's check it out, courtesy of the YouTube account called Ghost Gum. I've not checked out this channel before. I don't know what they're about. Oh, no, I did. Oh, they did. Oh, shit. I watched this, didn't I? I didn't remember that one. That's them. Okay, cool. He made a video on Brendan Schaub called Reddit's Most Hated Comedian, and now he's got another one talking about flipping BERT KREISCHER. It's already on 34,000 views in 2 hours. God almighty. So it's gonna definitely run up the numbers. So let's check it out. This is the video.
The story of somebody's audience turning on them seems to never get old, especially when people find the turn to be well-deserved. You have huge turns when somebody does something really bad, but more interesting ones tend to be the slow, gradual shift. And one of the best ongoing examples of that is once beloved comedian BERT KREISCHER. BERT is a case study on how to slowly lose your audience through your own misgivings with a little help from social media. Constant lying, insincerity, and just generally being stale and annoying have left people sour about BERT. But
that's the thing about BERT. Honestly, I don't want to stop it too early. The BERT thing's hard to really kind of like figure out because
worst trait.
BERT thing's hard to figure out because he has a lot of fans. Like, BERT isn't like Brendan. BERT doesn't like lie about ticket sales. He doesn't lie about selling out. He doesn't like, you know, he legitimately is a big time comedian. He has like 3 specials or maybe more on Netflix. He sells out shows all the time. He does fucking arenas. You know, he does flipping car lots and shit. People buying tickets to go and watch him on a screen in their fucking car. He legitimately is big time. He's actually Netflix. He's not a Blockbuster. He's actually Netflix. Like, he's up there with those big comedians. I think even Tim Dillon was saying that in terms of ticket sales, I think maybe they were trolling, but he's actually really, really big. Like, he's in the kind of like, you know, Sebastian, you know, kind of tier, Joy Coy tier, fluffy tier of comedians. So the hate and people turning against him can be somewhat, he can probably cope a lot easier with it because his ticket sales and the actual fans that come out for him are crazy. Even just his meet and greets, like people form lines at his meet and greets, like actual long lines to see him and get a picture, maybe have a shot with him or something, or rub his belly. So I don't think he's actually losing fans as many people think he is, personally. I think he's actually getting even more famous than ever. And once this movie comes out, he might even become more famous than he actually is. So I'm not too sure I kind of agree with this narrative.
Seems to be his inflated ego. Bert went from the drunk idiot who's still a lovable persona, even if he's a bit stupid, to the LA comedian who is better than you, contributes more to society than you, and is a full-blown alcoholic. Although maybe this might have been deep-rooted and we all saw it coming. This is Bert Kreischer. Born in St. Petersburg, Florida, near Tampa, he first came to the public eye when attending Florida State University in his 6th year. Yes, 6th year.
Whoa.
Which was, at the time, considered the #1 party school in America, according to the Princeton Review. Rolling Stone picked up on this, and after discovering Bert, named him the #1 partier.
Holy shit, that's how he used to look like.
Rolling Stone picked up on this, and after
Fucking hell. He's never looked that great, is he? Like, you know, facially and shit. But I like the flipping earrings. But yeah, he looks a little bit like a seal, doesn't he? Like a weird seal. And honestly, wearing a tie with a denim shirt, wearing a tie with a chambray shirt is fucking demonic. That's demonic. And having that little underlip beard thing with no mustache or no goatee is also very, very demonic, in my opinion. That's the most demonic look I've seen in my entire life. Like a denim shirt with a tie. Like, what's going on here?
Discovering Bert, named him the #1 partier in the #1 party school in America, which is basically the valedictorian for frat guys. And this is where his name would skyrocket. See, Bert was already doing a bit of stand-up comedy here and there, but he would parlay this notoriety into big venues for stand-up comedy, acting, and even filmmaking, usually supplemented with his heavy drinking and lack of a shirt. After making connections through comedy and name value, Bert was doing stand-up at big venues. While not witty or capable of really writing a punchline, he was a good storyteller. Thus, he became very well known for his drunken, goofy antics. He even got signed to Will Smith's management company, all while still being the drunken frat bro who somehow had a story for everything, which just so happens to be better and cooler than your story. We call this a one-upper. He's the quintessential Mr. Me Too. You could tell him you had a dog growing up and he'd tell you he had 2 dogs that were both sled dogs who found lost children on their spare time. It doesn't matter if the story's true as long as it's better than the other person's. Despite this, Bert was pretty innocent at the time. Sure, he would embellish stories, but that's pretty standard practice for a comedian. I'd go as far as to say he was pretty loved given his public TV appearances. He got in contact with Joe Rogan and through his podcast exposed himself to a wider audience. His storytelling would raise his stock through each JRE appearance. But there seems to be some stories where it's like, wait, huh? Like how he claims he's seen 3 people get struck by lightning, which is a bit dubious as only 270 people in a country of over 330 million.
I didn't know these people actually, I didn't honestly, like, let me say this to you guys right now. I honestly do think most of these comedians do lie about what they say. But I think there are a big portion of them who also tell the truth. But they maybe embellish. Maybe that is still technically lying, but I think there is still a nugget of truth contained in whatever story they tell. When it comes to the likes of Bobby Lee, I think Bobby Lee is basically trying to his best, which makes sense to save his career. If I was Bobby Lee and I was in a position that he was in, I would also be telling everybody that all the stories that I said were fake and made up. If that means that was how I'd save my career. Because it might mean my fans or a small portion of my fans might not like me anymore and they might get turned off. But in the wider scheme of things, I would probably be okay with that. Like making sure that I kind of go back and say, hey, everything I said to you before was a lie and whatnot. But I think what Bobby Lee used to say in the past was true because guess what? In the early days of stand-up comedy podcasts, they loved to go on there and talk about the most crazy, outlandish stuff that happened to them because it was kind of an unregulated, kind of overlooked niche type of scene. So there was no reason to lie back then because actually the funnier and the realer the story, the actually better you would do. So the fact that Bobby Lee's coming out here saying that he lied previously about his previous stories now, I don't believe him. He definitely told the truth. He's just trying to save his career. Now, I'm not sitting there writing down all the stories these guys tell and thinking which one is real, which one is not real. I'm just listening to the story as part of the overall context of the podcast. But I don't ever walk away from it thinking, yeah, all the stories are true. Like, as much as I love Joey Diaz, I know for sure 90%, if not 80% of his stories are probably made up. But the stories that he makes up kind of contribute to the overall point he wants to make. So it doesn't really matter to me. It's kind of harmless. And if anything, I don't remember them anyway after I listen to the podcast. I don't actually sit there and think, oh, fucking hell, how crazy it was when he did that, I don't really think about it that deep. But it's pretty hilarious to see that we've got to this point in stand-up comedy podcasting commentary where there are people who legitimately are noting down what these comedians are saying and saying, press X for doubt on that one. That was probably true. That's not true. That was probably true. It's hilarious because you're now kind of like putting them under pressure to tell the truth. So I want to see how these guys react now because these guys are paying attention. Because I don't pay attention that deeply. But certainly these guys are. And it's fucking funny. I want to see what happens as a reaction. Do they double down and lie? Or do they tell the truth? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Are struck by lightning each year. If somebody wants to do the math and find the chances on that, let me know. It's frustrating because some of his stories are true, although heavily exaggerated, which one could argue on stage is for comedic effect. But when Bert is swearing on his children that these are true, it makes you question them a bit. Is he exaggerating these stories to seem cool, for comedic effect, or both? The story he has about the kids with no tongues is clearly a lie, but at least it has some sort of punchline, intentional or not.
Growing up, I knew 2 dudes without tongues. That's Florida for you.
What?
2 dudes without tongues. Tongueless Brett and
How do they lose their tongues?
They never told me.
So we can forgive it. But the lightning one doesn't even have a punchline. It's just like, wow, I guess you've seen some crazy shit? Is the point of it? Now, it's important to understand the distinction here. There are some comedians who make up or exaggerate stories who are very funny, like Theo Von. But with him, the punchline is never, look how awesome I am, or look how crazy my life is. It's more of a setup to something clever, which Berts are almost always not.
And also with Theo, they're also very self-deprecating. It's kind of made to illustrate, because I think his overall point is that everybody's poor is every poor people are just poor people, and they have more in common than they have difference, even though they're kind of skin color or what, how they grew up is different. But growing up poor, growing up on like the rough side of town is the same for everybody. It's like a universal sort of language. And he tells them with these like crazy stories of these people who kind of live on the fringes of society, and they're kind of funny, but they're done to basically illustrate how weird it was where he grew up. But it's never to like, oh, look how cool I was, look how much money I had, blah, blah, blah. It's always like, look how weird this world is that I work in, and look, and kind of like, it's a contrast of like, I live in this weird made up LA world, and I've also had this weird, upbringing living in the South with these kind of freaky people that wear wooden t-shirts. I think that kind of is a good way of doing it. But I also just think he's just a genuinely funnier person anyway, so it probably helps.
There's Theo Von lies to make things funny, and there's Brendan Schaub lies to make yourself look cool. A crazy story becomes less funny when you realize it's not true. Bert tells his stories all the time on Joe Rogan, who's either very trusting or gullible depending on who you ask. Joe seems to believe all of Bert's stories no matter how crazy they are. And it's out of the question that Joe gave a platform for Bert to spew his, at best, embellished tales and at worst, bullshit stories.
The funny thing about Joe as well, Joe also is a stickler. He always will double down. No, he'll always fucking drill in and quiz people on their facts if he doesn't like what they have to say. But if he likes what they have to say, you let them say what they want. That's this quintessential thing he does. If he does it constantly. If he brings on people who are kind of, what you describe as right-wing grifters, they don't get just as much as flipping same stick as other people do get in terms of, maybe to basically prove what they said was correct or not, provide evidence, provide proof, or whatever it may be. It's absolutely quite funny, to be fair. And obviously the fact of like the joke's gone over his head. I love that part about him. Like, he just refuses to laugh with certain people. Only certain people are allowed to joke on his podcast. Most of the time, you have to go in there and be serious.
Bert once claimed that he was in a college band with Mark Tremonti of Creed and fired him because he was too good. Knowing the story was BS, Bert said if you asked Mark, he would deny it. Mark didn't really deny it, but just acted confused when confronted about it.
You're in a band. You ever have someone so good, you're like, oh, he's gonna realize how bad I am.
Oh,
yeah. So I kicked him out, and he was like, I'm the best guy in the band. And I was like, yeah, and that's why we don't want you anymore. He started a band called Creed.
Oh, no way, Mark?
Mark Tremonti, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, if you ask him about it, he'll deny it. He goes, I don't know Bert Kreischer. And I think he still holds like a bone with it.
Wow.
This has been going around for years. No, I wasn't in a band. He said, I've read the story where I guess we were in a band together. And
He said he kicked you out.
He kicked me out. Yeah, no, I'd remember that. I've only been in a handful of bands in my entire life.
And honestly, what a weird lie to make up if that's a lie, because from what I understand of, again, I'm a little bit of a music head myself, and I listen to a lot of interviews with bands that I like. And usually, a lot of interviews that you listen to with bands, along the way, an interviewer would ask a question of like, can you talk about some bands that you were in previously when you were younger? And it's usually quite a funny, it's usually quite a good kind of icebreaker in a conversation of an interview, or a topic to bring up, because band members or band, in general, people would like to talk about bands that are in high school, like crappy ones. I was in a pop punk band, I was in a rap group, I was in a boy band, whatever. People like talking about it, even if it ended terribly. So there's no reason for somebody like Mike, who's now a successful flipping musician in his own regard, to now years later be holding on to the grudge that some drunk guy in high school kicked him out of a shitty garage band. There's no reason to lie about that unless he's legitimately psychotic. It should be a nice story to kind of say, yeah, you know what, that is true. I remember Bert, blah, blah, blah. So him lying about something like that is absolutely batshit insane.
He said he kicked you out, and you turned around and said, "You know what? I'll start a better band," and that's where Creed came from. I think he's trying to take some credit for your success.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN devices. Highest deal you'll plus take advantage of limited time into it. Based off a story about the time Bert robbed a train with the Russian mafia. The long story short is in high school, Bert went to Russia, met a bunch of Russian gangsters.
Wow. So you guys, are there, honestly, let me see in the stream chat. Are there people out there that don't believe the Russian mafia story? Sorry, the machine story. I believed an element of it, but I'd never believed it's a made up lie. People don't believe it at all. I didn't know that was a thing. I actually believe that story because he's told it so often. I think if he's lying, he knows what happened to Steve Renazizi guy who said he was in the fucking Twin Towers or around it when 9/11 happened. Eventually that lie will catch up with you. So I think if the story wasn't true, he would have probably fessed up by now. But I think there's elements of the story are true. Like he definitely went to Russia. He definitely he didn't get kidnapped. Maybe he got, told he couldn't leave a room that he was in or something like that. But wow, people don't believe it. Okay, everyone in the stream chat is saying no. I don't believe a word of it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's a lie. What would compel anyone to believe that? But oh my god, okay, I'm the gullible one, I guess. I actually believed the flipping machine story. Honestly, I believed it. I thought it was somewhat accurate, if that makes sense. Well, okay, cool. Anyway, let's continue with this guy's roundup. Let's actually skip to the first. Start from the beginning again.
Back into it. However, Bert's most famous story is the Machine, which happens to be his nickname, based off a story about the time Bert robbed a train with the Russian mafia. The long story short is in high school, Bert went to Russia, met a bunch of Russian gangsters, accidentally introduced himself as the Machine, and acted as a sort of dancing monkey court jester for them. Of course, the story ends with Bert becoming buddies with the criminals and getting introduced to rival criminals as the Machine.
I understand you're the Machine.
As you know, Russian gangsters are famous for their hospitality and sense of humor. Exactly. The weird part about this story is some aspects of it seem to be true, but with Bert's embellishing in the past, it's impossible to tell which parts are real and which parts are figments of his imagination. Some of it is backed up some of it not. Either way, this story became mega famous, leading to Bert naming his next special after.
Fucking hell, mate. Honestly. Bless that guy, innit? But I honestly don't think I could ever be. It's bad enough walking around like that with a belly like that on the beach, but it's the beach, so you gotta take off your clothes. Fuck it. And I feel like sometimes if you're bigger and you keep your clothes on, you actually look way more insecure than you would if you just took off your shirt. No one really gives a fuck. But walking around on stage with a belly like that, that's just full of beer and looking the way that he does, that takes a lot of self-confidence, or just being paid a lot of money. Because I also think to myself, like, if Bert was still doing shitty comedy clubs and not getting comedy and not getting specials on Netflix, would he do this? Would he still be taking off his shirt? Because it kind of pays well. Like, he's now being paid to look the way he looks. So there's no reason to work out or get fit, because essentially he's become a multi-millionaire because of his kind of, you know, functioning alcoholic lifestyle. So this kind of makes it easy to do. Because I wonder, like I said, if he was coming up and he was doing, like, you know, comedy sellers and shit on a daily and struggling to sell out 200 cap venues, would he still be taking off his t-shirt every night? Probably not. Probably makes it easy to take it off because you know you're going to get paid a fat wedge at the end of the night.
After the story, and they're even making a fucking movie about it. So Bert's star is certainly shining bright at this moment, and he knew it. Bert started becoming a Hollywood elite, at least in his eyes, while still having to live up to his frat boy drunken persona. But at this point, he's 50 years old.
Oh, he's 50!
Still having to live up to his frat boy drunken persona. But at this
Bert Kreischer's 50 years old. I had no idea he was that old. Holy shit. Tom Segura is 40. So Tom Segura is nearly 10 years younger than him. No way is that true. No way. No fucking way. Let me Google that. Tom Segura age. He is. Tom Segura is 43 years old. Nearly 44. Bert's older than him and acts the way he acts. Nah, that to me is golden handcuffs for me. That's golden handcuffs. The fact that Bert has to live this like adult frat, not even adult, near on granddad frat boy persona thing, that is golden handcuffs for me. That is like a life of misery. That's really depressing. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of feel bad for the guy. Even though he's rich and famous and stuff, the fact that he has to live this life where he basically can't get fit. He's stuck in this box where he basically has to be morbidly obese and be an alcoholic and have skin that looks like a fucking Savaloy. But he's 50 years old is crazy. Crazy. He's stuck in that fucking never grow up Arrested Development stage, and he's 50 years old. He talks about drinking box wine on a treadmill, not showering, not wiping his ass properly, shit in his pants, all this shit, and he's 50 years old. Honestly, the only thing I think, for the most part, I think the only thing I legitimately think is kind of enviable about some of these comedians is that they get to live a life on their terms. They get to wake up, record a podcast when they want for the most part. They have sponsors coming out of their ass, fans that love to see them play in their city, regardless of how repetitive the flipping material is, like a Bobby Lee. They don't write new shit or whatever. They still watch their stuff. They still buy tickets. They buy merch. They hang out. You get to live life on your own terms. But outside of that, being a comedian seems a little bit depressing, especially at this level. It seems a little bit pathetic, seems a little bit sad, and it seems like the opposite of cool. Because I can't think of anything more uncool than being a 50-year-old man who has to like drink on stage, take shots with your flipping fans and shit, and take a t-shirt off every night. I can't think of anything more uncool than that, in my personal opinion. That's the antithesis of being uncool. Or basically, you know, making it seem like you went to the fucking, that you served in the military because you ran a couple of half marathons, because you got into a cold shower, right? Because you eat fucking chicken or meat every day. That kind of shit is kind of lame. The lifestyle is pretty cool, but everything else out of it is kind of lame. The fact that you're on road all the time and you don't get to raise your kids, you don't get to hang out with your partner, you kind of live this kind of weird quasi-bachelor life, yet you've got a partner at home, like you don't see your kids growing up. It's all about you. You're super self-absorbed. You don't really have any real friends because everybody's kind of leeching off you to get a set, to be booked on a show so they can become famous. It seems a little bit sad and depressing. Outside of the lifestyle, of course, driving the fast cars, jumping on the private jets if you like that sort of shit. But honestly, I would be so depressed if I had to be on stage drinking and taking shots with fans and shit, doing body shots, playing beer pong at 50 years old.
At this point, he's 50 years old. At what point does it go from stupid, funny, drunk guy to alcoholic?
Yeah,
Bert doesn't seem to think it's at that point, though. Despite showing clear signs of alcohol dependency or, you know, being an alcoholic, Bert is in complete denial about his problem.
Do you think that you're an alcoholic?
No. Being powerless to alcohol is different than drinking a lot. I drank a lot yesterday and I woke up in the middle of the night in a fucking sizzle. I mean,
but isn't that okay though? Again, I don't like it, and I think he's kind of hard to watch. You have to take him in small doses. But isn't that, like, as bad as it is, because he's been given a gift, he's been given an amazing opportunity to do what he wants in life and make a lot of money and make people happy and smile and shit. He should maybe, take it a little bit seriously and maybe stop doing the drinking all the time sort of thing. But surely, if you just enjoy drinking a lot, is there such a thing as enjoying drinking a lot and not being an alcoholic? That's what I'm trying to say. Does that exist? I'm sure it does. Because I think what's the definition of an alcoholic? Actually, let's get up on the screen. What am I doing here? Let's get up on the screen. Definition of alcoholic. What is defined as alcoholic? A chronic disease in which the person craves drinks that contain alcohol and is unable to control his or her drinking. A person whose disease also needs to drink greater amounts to get the same effect and withdraw symptoms after stopping use of alcohol. Okay, that kind of describes Bert. That kind of describes Bert. But can you, that's my question in the chat, for you guys in the chat. Can you drink a lot without being alcoholic? Like, you know how people just love to drink fizzy drinks? Would you say they're addicted to fizzy drinks, or they just enjoy the sugary delights of a Coca-Cola or something? Is that possible? Please tell me in the chat. Is that possible? You just like to have a drink, but you're not like itching. Like you're not like a BUM on the street, like drinking really cheap. Because when I think of alcoholic, I think of somebody that drinks anything to get a buzz, like crappy stuff, energy drinks and stuff, like anything. But I don't know, if you just enjoy a cocktail every night at the end of work, does that actually make you an alcoholic? That you enjoy a cocktail at the end of every work day? It just means that's the way you like to kind of, cap out a work day. Because if that's the case, then I must know a lot of people who are addicted to weed, because people smoke weed every day. Maybe more so than they drink sometimes. So does that mean you're addicted to alcohol, to weed? What are you saying here? No, that's not alcoholic. That's not an alcoholic as... What? This is not alcoholic. It's this definition. Eventually the body will get hooked. I think there's levels of alcoholism. Okay, levels of alcoholism. You're an alcoholic if you go through withdrawal when you stop abruptly and you continue to use... Oh, okay, cool. But to be fair, Uche, I do remember Bert Kreischer saying sometimes that he got the shakes and shit from not drinking or whatever. I do remember that being a thing that he talks about, like getting the shakes. So maybe he is an alcoholic. I'm not going to lie. Okay, here we go. 3 types. Okay, look, let's see here. What are the 3 types? Let's just go to this page. Let's see. There's 3 types of alcoholism. I want to see this true. 3 types, right? The 3 types of alcoholism. The only type of alcohol that humans can safely drink is ethanol. We use the 2 other types of alcohol for cleaning and manufacturing, not for making drinks. For example, methanol or methylene alcohol is a component in fuel for cars and boats. It's also used to manufacture antifreeze, paint remover, windshield, wiper fluid, and many other products. Isopropanol and isopropylene alcohol is a chemical name for rubbing alcohol for cleaning. Ethanol, okay, it's not the same thing. It doesn't mean. It doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? Let's go back to the fucking video. But Jesus Christ, Bert Kreischer, Jesus Christos, where is he? There you go. Let's go back to the video.
So hot, and all of a sudden my body went, and fucking poured sweat. Back to sleep.
When people are telling him, hey, you're unhealthy, Bert's quickly on the defensive. This may be because of Bert's new status, which makes him think he's above everybody else. Him and co-host of the Two Bears One Cave podcast, Tom.
No, I don't think that's fair. He doesn't think he's above anybody. He's just in denial. And I think that's perfectly understandable. Who would want to admit to themselves that they're a 50-year-old alcoholic? You know what I mean? Functioning alcoholic. And it's even worse now because he makes a lot of money and he's super successful. So he can legitimately create, I think he mentioned in the Tim Dillon podcast, he said he could basically live the life that he wants to live. Well, I think he might mention it with a recent one with Eliza Schlesinger. He's got an episode with Eliza Schlesinger, which I'm surprised they're friends actually. I wouldn't think Bert Kreischer and Eliza Schlesinger would be friends because she doesn't seem like she's easy to get along with. But they were friends anyway, and they're talking on a pod, and he mentions that he likes his lifestyle because he gets to basically create his own. He can basically do what he wants in a basically roundabout, way of saying things. And I think if that's the case, then being somewhat in denial about your alcoholism makes sense because you don't have to admit, that your lifestyle you're living now is somewhat, not healthy, destructive, all that's malarkey. So I kind of get why he's being defensive about it, to be honest. It makes sense.
Segura received some pretty significant backlash from their audience after they constantly talked about how rich they are, their lifestyles, how they rode private jets, etc. To which they responded oh so classily.
Every time we talk about like a
epic rant, this was the best rant ever. This was the epic rant because for me, I think I mentioned at the time, it was a legit mask off moment. And I think most comedians feel this way about their fans. I said it before on the flipping podcast. I think most comedians, especially when you see how they react to Reddit, they kind of treat Reddit like it's fucking 4chan or something. It's not that deep. It's just a bunch of people on there. Some of them are your fans. Some of them aren't your fans. But they're poking fun at you because you guys poke fun at everything else. And you're meant to be, guess what? Stand-up comedian. So you should be able to take a little bit of ribbing, a little bit of flipping teasing once in a while, a little bit of trolling. But they get so defensive, so emotional, so butthurt about people saying anything slightly negative about what they have to say. It makes me believe that if somebody today, I don't think anyone will because who would do that because it's a complete waste of time. But if somebody was to start today a channel where they critiqued comedy specials, it might already exist actually. And I bet it doesn't get many views because people really don't care about that shit. They want you just to insult people. But if somebody started a comedy channel where they just critiqued and broke down comedy specials and said why this special sucks, why it's good, critique the production, the lighting, the sound, what the person wore, the material, whatever it may be, I bet you these comics will still have an issue with it. They will still cry. Even though that person is going to be pretty fair, right? They're going to be pretty objective and they're going to critique it like an actual art critic would critique a movie or a TV series, they would still find a way to be butthurt about it. Because fundamentally, all of these stand-up comedians, they just want you to fucking consume what they do, view what they do, click what they do, buy their merch, click the ads or whatever it may be, come to their shows, and that's it. All they want you to do is to flipping consume what they put out. Don't offer suggestions. Don't offer insight. I dare you to fucking message one of these comedians and get a reply. Most of them will leave you on red. They won't even open your messages. Like, they don't even look at their comments. They don't even heart their comments. No replies, nothing. They just give you the content. You give them all the monies, all the attention, and that's it. And you make them rich and famous, and then they start shitting on you and start talking about private jets and big cars and shit. It's crazy. But I think everybody thinks like this. But Tom was the only one brave enough to come out and actually say it.
Watch or a car, I'll get a bunch of messages from losers that try to tell me that I'm making them feel bad about their situation. Oh, but I'm struggling with rent this month. Figure it the fuck out, okay? Like, don't make my life be a problem for your life.
To illustrate this, look at Bert when he realizes some random kid doesn't know who he is. He loves the celebrity, he loves the status, and he loves being the most likable person in the room, even if that is a part of his delusions. Bert seemingly must have realized that he's not witty enough to be a stand-up comedian, or he just didn't like doing it, so he decided to dive into the new age and attempt to go viral. After some failed vlog attempts, Bert had a couple of clips of him laughing go viral and pop off. These clips seemingly came more and more as they found success, with Bert even admitting so himself.
The way guys hunt, the way guys fish, I do that for laughs.
Yes.
I sit with my bait in the water, waiting for a laugh. Waiting for a laugh, and I don't want to create it.
Many have speculated this laugh to be completely fake, and
cringe. That sentence, cringe.
Honestly, I'd have to agree. Look how quickly he switches up here.
You have one of the best Asian jokes ever that I heard 17 years ago.
You know it's fake, right? Because of how he's able to like say a sentence, like a coherent sentence, like he's actually thinking about what he's saying and then he's saying it through his laughter. Usually if you're laughing like that, it doesn't work like that. You know? It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. Nah. I think my theory is, I think the laugh is real. Like the whistling, whatever that fucking shit he does. But obviously he can kind of put, like with most of with our own laughs, you can basically laugh on cue if you want to. So I think the laugh, actually the style of the laugh is real, if that makes sense. Laugh style, big up DSP. That is legit, but he can laugh on cue, on command, sorry, at this point. He can just turn it on. Like a porn star faking orgasms. He can basically do the same thing. That's what he basically is. He's not a hunter. He's a porn star for life, for laughs. That's what he is. He is a adult entertainment star for laughs. That's what he is, actually. He is the Naughty America of stand-up comedians. Right? That's what he is. Naughty America. Oh yeah, in the intro, they've got a laugh there also. That's what he does. Imagine, someone needs to do that. Someone needs to create a Naughty America intro and replace that little giggle with the girl with his laugh. That would definitely take your boner away.
Wait, you really are Korean?
This combined with his inflated ego have led to a huge chunk of people starting to dislike him a bit, including Adam Sandler, where Bert embarrassed himself in front of the Sandman. It seems like Bert is always trying so hard to be the coolest guy, the most likable guy, the funniest guy in the room. And while it's not at Brendan Schaub levels, it's dang close. He's seemingly worn thin with mainstream Hollywood, so he sticks to his place where he can feel like an elite. The infested swamp that is the LA podcast scene. His lies or stretching of the truth, him being in denial about his health, his drunkenness, his lack of self-awareness, and just general persona, all of that is completely unchecked now.
But you know what? Oddly enough,
awareness and just general persona, all of that is.
You know what's really funny about this? All of these things are like this is also the checklist that you need to be successful. To be successful as an LA stand-up, especially in that scene, especially just in LA overall. Forget stand-up comedy, just say in LA overall. Doesn't matter if you're an influencer, fitness influencer, comedian, podcast, or whatever. To be successful over there, you basically need to check off these checklists in one way, shape, or form. Lies overall, denials about your health or your looks, some sort of vice, whether it's gambling, drunkenness, drinking, fucking, kiddie diddling if you're Crystalia, something, right? A vice. Lack of self-awareness, also something I've spoken about already. That delusion, you have to have it in you. And just a general personality that is kind of Marmite. It's sort of like 50-50. You have people that like you and don't like you. You kind of need that. If you have sort of like ambivalence or whatever it may be, then maybe you're not going to make it. But if you have these 5, then it's definitely, you're on your way. This is kind of a checklist to be successful. Weird enough. To be successful, have these and you're going to win.
Is completely unchecked now. Bert is slowly losing the audience that once loved him so much. These people followed him because he was being himself. Heck, that's why he got famous in the first place. Now he's stuck. He's not in his 20s anymore. Being a drunk can be kind of funny at 21, less funny at 50. He's also clearly not authentic, as many people would claim he used to be, with his clips attempting to go viral. The only thing worse than him forcing this laugh for clicks is Brendan Schaub joining him on it. And trust me, if the Machine movie sucks, which is a very real possibility, I might add.
I don't think so. I think it's going to do really well, by the way. I'm going on a record. I think the Machine's movie is going to do really surprisingly well. And it's going to make Bert an even bigger star than he is. And it's going to make him even more insufferable and obnoxious than he already is. So if you already dislike Bert Kreischer, please put on your seatbelt. It's gonna get really bad.
Bert might lose his audience in a more rapid rate than he is now. I mean, why do people even watch Bert Kreischer anymore? People have probably all heard the Machine story, all of his tales from being a college frat guy who everyone loved. I mean, what's the point anymore? He's a 50-year-old guy with kids who actively gets drunk and lies about having a drug problem. He's also starting to epitomize the worst parts of Hollywood, minus the obvious: fakeness, a superiority complex, and zero self-awareness.
A comic's brain is so different than a pedestrian's brain. And like what, you know, like I can't help. I went
Pedestrian is so funny, by the way.
No.
Like saying that drives me crazy. It's like, we're not in the fucking armed force. Let's
Big up Stabby Baby, man. What an absolute G. I love this moment so much. Because Bert at one moment thought he meant, Bert honestly, legitimately thought he meant he agreed with what he said. Like, yeah, man, pedestrians just don't get us. Civilians just don't understand what it's like to be a 50-year-old alcoholic. And he was like, just relax. We tell dick jokes on stage. Like, we're legitimately court gestures. We're at the bottom rungs of society. Comedians are probably just above flipping DJs, if not just underneath us. We're not that important, but that's the thing as well. You think, especially when I've seen in my life, like DJs and comedians, the egos that they have, despite doing jobs that basically anybody can do. A DJ, have decent taste in music, or good taste in music, have the technical ability to mix one record into the other. And nowadays, with good equipment, you don't need to do that. You've got good sync buttons. But essentially, if you have good, decent taste in music, a decent persona, and you work hard enough, you could make it. But it's not like you're flipping in a band playing a fucking instrument or writing your own songs. You're playing other songs other people make really loudly in clubs. But some of these guys legitimately walk around like they're fucking David Bowie in this shit. It's really embarrassing. Same thing goes for some of these comedians. You tell dick jokes on stage and you think you're fucking modern day philosophers, as Flippin' Brendan would say. You're not. You're Blogbuzzer.
Let's fucking relax.
a lot of-
Any person on the street I respect more than even my favorite comic.
And with that note, I want to leave you with one of the most bullshit Bert Kreischer stories I've ever heard. Whereas some stories you could argue maybe happen to some extent, this one, there's no fucking chance. I'm sorry. As a Canadian, I will say there is no fucking chance that this happened, and you'll see what I mean.
I can't wait.
When we went to Canada for the first time, you're not allowed to bring drugs into Canada, obviously.
Did you bring
drugs into Canada?
I brought a little bit of drugs into Canada.
What'd you bring?
Okay.
Just weed, a one-hitter. I brought a glass one-hitter.
Where was it?
What's that mean?
It was.
What is a glass one hitter of weed, by the way? What does that mean? Because the weed we get in the UK is horrible. It's usually stuck between somebody's ball sack and the side of their leg, so it's not the greatest. And it usually comes in like Ziplocs bags. But what does a weed hit? What's that called? A weed hit? What the fuck is a weed hit in glass? What the fuck is that? Is that like a glass kind? What does that mean? A weed hit in glass? Oh, is it like a glass pipe? It was like a crack pipe. Is that what it is? Is that what that he had? Like a glass crack pipe thing? Literally. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. So it's this. Is it this? Let me see. Let me get it. I got it up on my phone. Is this correct? That thing. Is that the one? That's a weed hit, yeah? That. He brought that to, even I don't believe him. I'm not from the States, or I'm not from North America, but I know how flipping crazy the border patrol is over there in flipping Canada and shit. There's no way he was able to take that over the border. No way. No way. But let's see what he says.
I had it with me because it was the first time on a tour bus.
Did they have a dog?
No, so I said, what I'm going to do, Leanne was with me, so was Jesus Trejo. And I said, it's my first time on a tour bus. I'm going to have a cocktail. I'm going to smoke this one hitter. I'm going to enjoy the tour bus. All of a sudden, the doors open, and they're like, we're at Borders, and I hadn't hit my one hitter, so I fucking panicked. I run back to the bathroom. It's a brand new tour bus. I've never been on a tour bus. I don't know how lights work. I don't know how anything works. I just know I got to clean out this one hitter.
You got to clean it out by smoking weed while you're at the border?
I got to empty it and throw it in the garbage. I got to get rid of it. I got to flush it.
Right.
Drop the glass one hitter. It shatters.
Okay.
I scramble. I can't figure out how to get the lights on. I get the weed. I put it in the toilet. I fucking literally doors are opening. And they're like, hey, Border Patrol, we're here to search the bus. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. The one thing Leanne said was, do not bring drugs into fucking Canada. So we go into the holding thing, and we're there for like an hour and a half at 2 in the fucking morning. An hour and a half we're waiting, and I'm like, I'm fucking busted. And the guy comes in, and he goes, You guys are all good. And I was like, oh, thank God. So as we're walking to the bus, I'm still a little buzzed and I'm feeling loose. And I go, hey man, just out of curiosity, like what would have happened if we had brought drugs into Canada? And he goes, you mean hypothetically, like say someone had a glass one hitter in their bathroom, shattered it, tried to throw it in the toilet and didn't flush it? And immediately everyone looks at me and I'm like, yeah, like that. And he go, I'd say it's an honor meeting the machine. Enjoy your tour in Canada.
Come on, Bert. Come on, Bert. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That can't be true. Come on. That's impossible. No, hold on. It's not impossible, but it just seems too good to be true. It's like the Brendan Schaub casual lie he says. When Brendan will sometimes say, oh, I was out and about and this guy, I don't know, it would be like a busboy at a flipping hotel or like somebody at the concierge or like a valet person and they always recognize him or like a person at the coffee shop. Oh, Brendan, what's up? And they start engaging in some conversation, maybe give him some information or annoy him. But there's always somebody that recognizes him everywhere he goes. Don't get me wrong. I don't live in America. I don't live in LA. I'm sure Brendan does get recognized somewhat over there because he's been there a while. He's obviously somewhat famous in his core area, niche, whatever it may be. But to think that everywhere he goes, everybody recognizes him is legitimately insane. Like, he's not that famous. They think they're that famous, but they're not that famous overall. And I also don't think that fame would have any kind of influence in these scenarios either. Not in that way, personally. So I think there's maybe an element of the story that's true, but overall, this like, and the crowd cheered end of the story, because that's what all these stories are like. He never really has to, for some reason, these stories, he never has to suffer any real life consequences. He always kind of gets away with it. But I love his language also at the end, because I think it kind of reminded me of why I think some people got a little bit concerned. I think when I made the post, or I made the clip of when I said, oh, I'm going to go on my Berkheim 6 week sobriety thing, which I'm still on, obviously, and obviously smashing it and loving life. I remember I think I said something along the lines of, oh, I like a little reward where I kind of like, if I behave myself like for like 6 weeks or do a good Monday to Friday, and if I want to go outside, I can go out and get crazy and whatnot, right? And I think the way that I see it in my head, it's not like a reward like eating a chocolate bar. It's just my way of having balance, because I don't really believe in like now in my life that I want to be, you know, sober all the way through until the end. I kind of want to have balance, but I want to be mostly sober most of the time, and when I want to get crazy, I want to get crazy. But beforehand, I had a little bit too much overlap on the getting crazy side, so the days of me being sober weren't there, so that I couldn't do the things I want to do, because I want to work hard, I want to get to where I want to get to and whatnot. So I want to have that balance. So when I use the term reward, it's more so, okay, you know, have these long extended periods of time where you don't do shit for 6 months, and if you want to go crazy for a weekend, go, and then go back to being, you know, sober for the next 6 months. Cool. But I love with Bert, he has these words he uses all the times. I think he uses phrases or words like treats and rewards and stuff, and gifts and treat myself. And he's a 50-year-old man. I wonder what that is about, that kind of psychology of using those terms. Because I think with me, there maybe is an element of cope in there, and maybe an element of like trying to trick myself that I'm doing well by going to gym and stuff. I know maybe there is in it. But at least I'm doing the work in some respect. I am trying to live a somewhat, you know, straight edge, kind of like straight laced life Monday to Friday. And if I want to get crazy on the weekend, I do it. I'm doing that kind of balance. With this guy, his entire life is indulging himself. He does what he wants all the time. So the idea of a reward and a treat doesn't hit the same as a regular schmegular person, because he has his life, someone just said balance. There is no balance in his life ever. So why is he bothered? So why is he so concerned about having treats and shit? Maybe that's the addict side of him in that regard. He always feels like he has to kind of give himself a treat. And maybe the treat is his addictions. The beer, the all that malarkey and the regard. You just have to say, it's probably thankful that he's not into Class A drugs. He doesn't strike me as somebody that would do coke, that would do pills, or maybe he did something, but that would do like crazy stuff like heroin, lean, you know, whatever it may be. He'd maybe smoke a bit of weed here and there, but he's kind of lucky that that is not the case, because with his pace and with his kind of proclivity to indulge himself, it would be flipping spooky for him. Really would. So it's kind of fortunate that all he likes to do is drink. And I know drink is still bad for you and it can cause a slow death, but at least it's booze. At least it isn't anything too crazy. But for sure, that last story at the end, nah. Definitely not true. What we say? Oh, Uja said no. He talked about loving coke on a podcast in New York. I think it was we might be drunk. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting that he would admit that. Okay, that might change for him, because I think if he did involve drugs, actual drugs into his lifestyle, he would be fucked. Like with a capital F, FUKED, spelling it the flipping Brendan Schaub way. He'd be so fugged, or FUGGED. Like if he legitimately enjoyed coke, like actually, like he'd be so messed up. I swear to God. But yeah, big up him regardless. Big up him. Big up him. Bear me 1 second. Gotta move on to what you guys saying in the chat here. Stole his Tracy Morgan story and made it a pre-machine type story. He's gotten back to Euro trip and he's insured himself a lot and done over time. 10 years ago, I randomly met and made out with Ben from Fight of the Concours on a dance floor. He did the "Do you know who I am? I'm famous," and I said, "No, so am I." Big on the touchscreen. I love that. Imagine that being a sentence that comes in your head. Like, honestly, the first thing I'll be thinking about when I'm on a dance floor is getting freaky, especially if I'm in a loving embrace with somebody and we're swapping spit. The last thing I'm going to think about is like, oh, I bet she doesn't know I'm fucking famous. That's like that meme that people use, isn't it? That meme of that guy in the corner. I bet they don't know that I'm a famous comedian. I bet they don't know I'm a famous podcaster. Like, just get on with the fucking business. You know what I mean? Slip a little finger in the mouth. I don't know, do something. Why are you worried about telling them that you're fucking famous? Like, what is wrong with people, man? People are so weird. But yeah, big up. Let's move on. Let's move on from this one. Let me see what's happening here. If I missed anything on my list of stuff that I wanted to check out. I don't think so. Oh, let's before you get into Brandon Schaub stuff, let's check in with the Comedy Mothership. I think we need to check out that. Let's check out the Comedy Mothership stuff. Let's see what people are saying here. Actually, you know what? I want to check out also. Let's check out Brandon Schaub channel first of all, because I think I saw something on the subreddit earlier about him uploading a clip of him ranting on the fucking Reddit trolls on his own channel, which is absolutely hilarious. Let's see if he did that. Did he actually do that? Is that his own channel? What channel was it? I saw a flipping clip of it just recently. Oh yeah, it's his own channel. Okay, let's see. Let's see his own channel. Let's see his own channel. Let's see his own channel. Where is it? Okay, there. Yeah, see, it's there. Shit. So this is obviously, it's funny when you type it in, right? You type in Brendan Schaub on YouTube, and the first two things that come up is that TFATK channel, Golden Hour, and then his own channel, and then all this other stuff. The bizarre mixture of Brendan Schaub, most hated comedian. Like, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. So let's go on this one. He took a clip from that podcast that he went on and clipped it and put it on there. Somebody had to take a screen grab of the Fire and the Kid, Reddit, like everything. So in a weird way, he's actually promoting a Reddit. The place that he thinks is evil and is causing him so much pain and is full of pedophiles and kiddie diddlers and women abusers and shit. 'Cause that's what he's painting out to be, because he used his family. I know some commentators had a good point. Some people made a good point to me about the whole kids thing, because I don't agree the kids should be posted on the subreddit. I think that's bad. I think that's bad form, and I don't like it. And if I was in charge, I would say no pictures and no stuff about the wife and nothing about the kids. I don't think that's fair. They didn't choose to be, you know, in his life, whatever it may be, and they're innocent parties to some extent. And I also think this guy provides much, he provides enough content as it is for everybody. You don't need to start mining his family. That's not necessary. Even Jay, leave Big Jay Schaub alone also. I would say that. But he also is a very public-facing person, and he also does parade his family on social media. Like he's a celebrity, like he legitimately, like his wife thinks she's a celebrity. She's got a verified account. I think they've got 100,000 followers, and they put their kids on social media without blurring their face, anything on there, which is a little bit disturbing in my opinion. So you can't really blame people for using pictures that you already upload on your own stories and sharing them on a subreddit. It's kind of like a fan forum. It kind of is what it is. but I understand why people get a bit crazy with it. And I think if I had a kid, I'd be definitely acting different about it. But I think he used these kids in that excuse as a human shield to kind of insulate him from any kind of blame, in my opinion. People, you know what I mean? That's what basically happened there. But hey, let's watch it. Regardless, it's how Brendan Schaub handles his internet hate. Let's see what he has to say. It's funny as well. The views aren't that much, for his own channel. This is his own channel, and he's getting basically the same amount of views that I would get when I clip up some stuff from my own podcast. It gets around 3K, 5K sometimes, depending on who it is. So that's pretty bad for his own channel and whatnot. He's getting that level of flipping engagement is pretty horrible, personally. But let's see how he clipped it to make himself look good.
I don't pay attention to it. I think it's a bad thing whether you pay attention to the negativity or the positivity. Yeah, I think you just got to keep doing your thing. My heroes growing up didn't live this world, so it can't be healthy. I think we'll find over years how it affects the brain, how it affects creatives and businessmen who do pay attention to that stuff and read the comments and stuff like that.
But you're not creative and you're not a businessman. Those are the two things that you need to understand. And also, running back to it, he's just parroting what Brian Callen was saying. Brian Callen's been saying for a while, the praise, I don't read comments. I don't even read positive ones because you're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. Yeah, right. You don't read them because you got accused of rape, brother. Most of the fucking comments on there are going to be taking the piss out of you being wrinkly and also potentially allegedly being a rapist. So it's probably better for your mental health to probably not read the comments. But it's not like you're not reading them because you're not going to see good stuff. You don't want it to get to your head because you want to be pure and about the craft. Brother, we've all seen your stand-up comedy. It's the same shit. Physical comedy. A man's like this. I'm very strong. I fuck girls like this. Women are here. This embrace. I'm a warrior. I'm really a small little old man, but I feel like a warrior inside. We know what your comedy is like. So you're not preserving your mental capacity or mental health for anything outlandish and crazy. Your comedy is basic, brother. Basic.
So I don't want to be that sample size. I'm not going to be.
You're not trying to get that digital CTE of
No,
reading comments every day.
I already have enough CTE, man. I'm about to drive my Porsche off the PCH, but
nice humble brag, right? Instead of saying I'm about to drive my car, I'm about to drive my Prius, I'm about to cycle off of the fucking nearest interstate, I'm about to cycle, on the nearest interstate and hope for the best. No, I'm about to drive my Porsche, my shiny Porsche, my fast Porsche, my low profile Porsche, my expensive Porsche into the interstate. You know what I mean? I love this guy, man. Even when he's trying to defend himself and come across somewhat measured and reasonable and cool, he has to sprinkle a little salt bait humble brag in there. Gotta love it.
I think with the Reddit group, it's interesting because the watch everything you do, and
also, isn't that how you say interesting? Let's rewind that again. How do you say interesting?
But I think with the Reddit group, it's interesting because I think with the Reddit group, it's interesting because
cool.
Because the watch everything you do, and there's some things that I'm on board with, and then there's a small select group on there who are just evil. So
how? Demonstrate how they're evil, please. How? As Joe would say, how they're evil. Please tell us how they're evil. All that Reddit does is make fun of the things this man says. All that Reddit does is make fun of the things this man posts. I've said it from the beginning. I was a former fan. I was balls deep. See the term I use? Balls deep. And if you're a real fan, you know how much they overuse that phrase. I was balls deep in the Fire and the Kid. I was part of the T-Fat-K army. There's a period in my life, if I go back to a couple of Reddit accounts before, because I've had a few over the years, hashtag internet boy, but I've had a few, right? If I go back to my original one, I'm pretty sure I can find posts of myself on that subreddit defending Brendan and Brian when I first found out about PF Chang's. Going on, I was saying things like, these guys aren't that bad, you guys are over-exaggerating, you guys are being haters. I'd rap it the same thing they said. Then over time of just watching their own content, they turned me off. Not the flipping subreddit, just them talking and being the way they are eventually turned me into a homeless cat. I was like, you know what? These guys are horrendous. This guy is a mongoloid. That other guy is a cuck. I can't do this anymore. And I tapped out. Because of what they said. And again, all the stuff that you see on the Reddit is stuff that they post. Now, like I said before, if I was in charge, if I was a CEO, along with BC and flipping Ariel Hawani, I would say, as a rule, no more posts of the wife, no more posts of the kids. But again, it's the internet. You can't control it. And if you post publicly images of your wife and your children on your social media, and you're a verified account, and you try and go on like you guys are like the comedy Kardashians or some shit, right? With this kind of like family life, posting everything online, being super open with everything, you can't then be angry when people start saying mad stuff about your family because you're putting them out there in the open. That's why you should probably keep them private if you don't want them to be subjected to stuff people say online. But also, going back to the evil stuff, what is evil? Laughing at your non-funny special. Is that evil? Taking the piss out of the stuff that you say incorrectly. Is that evil? Taking the piss out of the fact that you can't be self-deprecating and laugh at yourself and you're super thin-skinned. Taking the piss out of the fact that you try and act like you're a good guy, but you're actually a bully. Taking the piss out of the fact that, you know, you may or may not have had some extramarital affairs out here. One that maybe involved Bobby fucking Lee, who at one point was your friend. That doesn't get spoken about near enough, actually. You tried to fuck your friend's wife or girlfriend at the time. Basically wife, because they were together for a long time. And it just got swept under the carpet like nothing happened. The trouble with Annie, he said, she said. But for the most part, you admitted to the flipping, you know, KHALYLA shit. That should be enough for people to say they don't like the guy. But for him, in his view, that's evil. That means you're being evil. That's not being evil. That's just calling out the bullshit, I would say. But hey, what do I know?
So there's difference between hate, which I get. I give you a lot to hate on. I do a lot of content. I make a lot of jokes. I offend a lot of people. I get that.
You don't make a lot of... People aren't offended by your content or the amount of shitty podcasts that you have or how terrible your stand-up is. People, for the most part, are offended by the things that you say, not even the jokes. That's the thing that doesn't really make any sense with this guy. He thinks he's legitimately some sort of like right-wing provocateur or something, right? You're not. He's not even smart enough to have the right-wing grift and to kind of lean into that side, even though he tries to. He doesn't really have the mental or the, you know, maybe the acumen, I don't know, whatever. He just doesn't have it to kind of be that guy, but he wants to be that guy. No one's offended by his jokes. If anything, it'd actually be way more refreshing if he actually was funny. It'd make it a little bit harder to kind of take the piss out of, but he's aggressively unfunny, says really crazy shit, does horrible stuff, interrupts people, bullies people, acts better than what he is, thinks he's above people and better than people in some regards, lies all the time. That's why people don't like the guy. But hey, I read it both ways.
You don't get to a certain level without getting a lot of haters. You just don't. If you look at Logan Paul, Drake, LeBron James, name some the massive celebrities that we have in this world. There, and you go online, you read their comments, or to my buddy Joe Rogan.
God. He's comparing himself to LeBron James, Logan Paul, Drake, and Joe Rogan. Don't get me wrong. Taking it at face value, saying that the biggest people in the world, celebrities-wise or personality-wise, do get their fair share of hate is obviously somewhat true. Okay, Captain Obvious, thank you. Have a star. Have a little sticker on me. There you go. Enjoy yourself. Here's a lollipop. Knock yourself silly. But in the grand scheme of things, just because those guys get hate doesn't mean it completely negates why you get hate. And the Brendan Schaub hate, I think, is quite specific. If you go on that flipping subreddit, and for the most part, and you actually look at what people are talking about, it's loads of like character defects, character personality flaws and faults, and narcissistic traits and shit that people have issues with. Like fundamental things about him as a person they don't like. Not the fact that he's successful and he's... No one gives a shit about that. No one. They all just say, hey, you lie a lot. Hey, you may be a cheater. Hey, you bully people. Hey, you interrupt people a lot. Hey, you can't take criticism. Hey, you think you're smarter than what you are, but you're not. Hey, you pronounce things weird. And when people call you out in it, you look like you want to Chris Benoit them. Like, that's what people talk about. That doesn't mean the hate that you get isn't justified. It may go over the top sometimes, cool, but come on.
Nobody, I don't know anybody who gets more hate than that guy, but he gets more love. I'm in the business of likability. So if you watch my...
You're in the business of likability, and you're the most unlikable person in the world. Riddle me that. I beg to differ.
podcast, you buy a ticket to my stand-up, you buy the merch, you buy the whiskey, you're a fan. And I make a living off likability. So I just...
No, actually, weirdly enough, you kind of make a living off of unlikability nowadays. Oddly enough, which is why people keep telling you to lean into it, because you probably have a capacity to make way more money than you are now, because it probably just makes way more by having loads more podcasts, right? You have loads of podcasts, you have loads of sponsors, and it kind of just, you kind of double dipping and shit. So that makes sense. Congratulations to him, good business acumen, top marks. But he would actually make way more money at doing less shows if he actually leaned into the meme a little bit, oddly enough. But also double-sided sword, because if he did lean into the meme, I think the onus to take the piss and to tease would go away, because now it's kind of like a forbidden thing, like what Louis J. Gomez said, like the Brendan Shaw button's like the button you're not meant to press, so it makes it tempting to press it. So now, because it's kind of like a thing that you're not meant to do, people do it a lot. If he kind of leaned into it and kind of acknowledged it, maybe it'll kind of go away and it wouldn't be as lucrative. Who knows? But either way, it's legitimately hilarious. The business of likability when you're unlikable is hilarious.
I don't give the hate energy. As far as the Reddit goes, I get it. And some of them are really funny, and I appreciate those guys, whether it's good or bad towards me. It gets a little dicey when they want to. I don't understand when they cross the line when it gets into my personal life.
Right.
It's like, I'm not Tom Cruise, dude. Why the fuck you give us? Who cares about that stuff? And
the personal life stuff again is kind of odd. I'm a bit conflicted in that regard too, because he's kind of right. It's really no one's business, really no one's business if he is out there cheating on his wife. It's no one's business, really and truly, right? I don't think so. But I think the reason why people kind of pull it up and speak about it is because he tries to go on like he's a beast of a dad, beast of a husband all the flipping time. And people clearly have evidence of the fact that it may be incorrect. This view of himself that he may have may be kind of, based in some fairy tales. So people want to call it out because he clearly lies about loads of other stuff. So if you can call out an obvious lie, why not call it out? And some people just actually have a principled, moral aversion to it. And they just want to call it out. Like, it's just like something they just don't like. Like, okay, I heard this person is cheating, I'm going to expose them. And then he just is unfortunate recipient of it. And unfortunately for him, he has so many dodgy things out there that haven't been answered just yet. Like, even just a recent one with BGO exposing stuff. Like, the BGO exposed a lot of stuff, and, he hasn't disproved any of it. If anything, he made it look like it was true because he bought his mother-in-law a house, which I'm sure didn't have anything to do with the fact that, BGO exposed him for the addies and baddies shit. I'm sure that isn't true. I'm sure he didn't buy his mother-in-law a house to make up to his wife that he cheated on her and stuff. I'm not sure that happened, because I'm sure to buy a house, it takes way longer to organize, to get the papers done, than finding out on flipping Instagram that people have outed you. I'm sure that isn't the case, but it did look a little bit convenient. It looked really convenient that the same time that BGO went on MMA-Holes and exposed all the baddies, texts and DMs and instances of when he's doing this, whatnot, and shared the screenshots on flipping the subreddit, it seemed a little bit coincidental and stuff, that suddenly now he's buying his mama house and it's now happy family and shit and everything's back to normal. It seemed a bit strange. And then on top of that, the pièce de résistance has to be this clip that we need to play here, right? Let me see if I can get it up on there. Let's see. The one where he hands that girl a note. That clip may be one of the most epic clips in the world, because that was also the clip that made him decide to try and get the Find the Kid Reddit taken down, because he thought the people on there were trying to, get kids or something. Let me see where I can find it. Let's see. Let's do cheat. Let's see what comes up when you just do Brendan Shaw cheating. It's a video of him on live stream. Where is it? Someone got it? Hand someone a note. No, it's not there. Let's see. Note. Let's see where it is. The hand. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. We watched it before. So here it is. It's from the Cambodian River Pig. Absolutely amazing name for a channel. Let's see this video. This is legitimately, I think, real bad luck. To be fair to him, this is supreme bad Brendan Schaub luck personally for me when I look at this, because who else could this happen to but him? Who else could this happen to? You're on a live stream for a flipping Super Bowl event, or Super Bowl as he would say, and during the intermission, the camera that's taking the picture, or live stream camera that's, you know, doing a nice shot of the outside of this flipping mansion, seems to pick you up handing a note to some flipping baddie somewhere in the corner here. Like, he has the worst luck in the world, I swear to God. Let me just put this up on here, but it's somewhere around here, I think. Let's play the video. There he is. See him? There's a person who isn't the wife, right? Get a note in the hand. He walks off, looks back, and there she is. She gets up and does like the period little sign to her friends. She walks over to her friends. And does something. See it? Hugging. Yo, big up Freshwater Baddie. 499 super chat. Appreciate it.
I love these streams so much. I'm inside listening while it's 70 degrees and sunny in Northwest Ohio. Thank you, Oz.
Yes.
Folded hands.
Yes, big up you. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Yeah, that's the vibes, man. That's the vibes. Create the best background content in the world. That is my mission statement. You know how flipping Apple are like creating the best flipping products in the world. My mission: create the best background listening experience ever. This is it. So big up Freshwater Baddie for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, this video was absolutely hilarious, man. Where is it again? There's the lady, I think, somewhere around here. Anyway, to stop this video, he legit has to be thankful anyway, that whoever this flipping person is didn't flipping go on to flipping Chang's and decide to do an AMA or something. He legitimately is lucky that didn't happen, because if that was the case, that would be so awful. But I also am in the belief, you know, I'm not really one to talk about the wife on here because I think you should keep them private, but just in the subject of this, my belief in general is that they may not have an agreement in terms of like what he gets up to on the road, but I just have a belief deep down in me that she doesn't give a shit. Like, generally doesn't give a shit, because the lifestyle is advantageous or is somewhat beneficial. So she's kind of, you know, what's that word called? Rationalize it in her mind of like, okay, cool, I don't really care because I get to basically live this lifestyle that I'm probably not going to be able to live on my own. And I got 2 kids anyway, you know, that kind of brain of like, you know, where am I going to get this? Where am I going to expect this kind of level of treatment if I was to leave? All this sort of stuff goes in mind. And I think that's basically what plays into it. And also, who wants to be regardless of that, even if you're materialistic, forget that. Who wants to be, by choice, a single mother with 2 kids under the age of flipping 12 or something? That's pretty hard to do and work out for anybody, even the best circumstances. And it makes sense why she'd be like, you know what, I'm going to put up with it. Because, you know, why not? Because in the grand scheme of things, who else knows about this stuff outside of a small group of people who are obsessed with Brendan? Not really many people. So you kind of avoid embarrassment because no one really knows all this stuff outside of just the people that kind of don't like Schaub and stuff. So I can understand to a small degree why she decided to be like, you know what, I don't care. It is what it is. So, but yeah, Brendan's lucky that girl never came out. If that girl came out and said something, oof, he'd be finished. He'd be cooked.
Thank God my wife, she's been with me since I was in the UFC. So when you're fighting UFC, you get a lot of love, you get a lot of hate. There's no in between if you're doing it right. So she's conditioned to that. She doesn't.
In his mind, he has this flipping belief that somehow everyone that's doing good in life just has loads of haters. It's such a bizarre mentality or idea to have, no? I think. Like, you believe that everybody that's doing well just has to have a group of people who follow them around the internet everywhere they go, following their every move and calling out every dumb thing that they say. I don't think that's true. I think there are some people that exist on the internet that people just leave alone and let them get up, you know, get along with all their good stuff that they do. I don't think all of them are, you know, kind of hounded around the interwebs by a horde of people who legitimately think they're redacted. That's not the case. It's a weird cope. Like, everybody that's successful has got haters. So that means if they're successful and they got haters and I've got haters, that means I'm successful. It's like, no, you do not matter in the grand scheme of things.
And pay attention to it. She doesn't care, you know, at this point. So thank God for that. But The only time I don't like is when they make it super personal. It's about the kids. It's about, you know, certain things, but you know, nobody's harder on me than myself. You know, there's nothing they can say that I don't tell myself usually on a daily basis. And trust me, it's way worse whatever they're putting out. So although I get it, I appreciate it, and you know, I just don't give it energy. I think one of the things that I have going for me is, you know, I post and ghost. I don't pay attention to that stuff, but then I'm also, you know, I'm on the road, whatever it is, 30 weekends a year. You know, if I
The post and go stuff is super lie. You know that's a lie because we know he reads all the comments. That's a proper lie.
I get done with this interview, I go get coffee. I can't go down the street without somebody saying, "Hey, Brendan, love you, man." So
He gets recognized more than fucking Michael Jackson. Everywhere he goes, everyone loves him. Funny that, isn't it?
that's real. That's what I care about. Social media, it's a factor for sure.
Also, what's up with what's up? Hey, big up Richie for the $10. Appreciate it, brother.
As congratulations on the milestones. What's up, has crew? Bring the red hoodie back with the Balenciaga ballet flats outfit back, mate.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. Big up, thank you, $10. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back for sure. Everyone wants the Balenciaga ballet flats nowadays. I'll try and bring those back. I'll try and get those first of all, and then I'll put those up on stream for sure. 100%, 1,000,000%. Let's continue.
But it's not the end all be all. I think when people realize that if you're walking down the street, 1 in 10 people are on social media, especially on Twitter, that you can't give your self-value, your self-worth of what social media is, you're going to live a much happier life. So that Reddit group, they're going to do their thing, you know, and that comes with the territory, and I was built for it. That's why God gave me big shoulders.
Oh, lame dad joke. Lame dad joke. That's why I was given big shoulders to handle all of that. Get out of here, man. He's acting like he's, what's that sculpture where the person's carrying a globe? What's that called? Sculpture. Is it sculpture person carrying globe? What's that thing from again? I've got the vision in my head. What's that thing come from? Yeah, he's acting like he's Atlas. That's it. Brendan thinks he's fucking Atlas. That's what he thinks, isn't it? Comedy fucking Atlas. This is B. Shaw. This is Brendan. This is him. He fucking thinks he's Atlas, isn't it? That's him, mate. That's the ego. That's the fucking ego on the guy. He fucking thinks he's the comedy Atlas. Right? He's out here like holding exactly batless. Exactly like really? Like fucking hell, mate. Give your head a fucking wobble, please.
But
they're gonna clip that.
They're gonna love that one.
Yo, they're gonna love that one. They're gonna love that one.
Yeah, I think I was built for it. And then also you look, you know, if you look at me, I know, you know, I probably look like the guy that bullied you in high school. and, you know, they'll use some of that, you know, like, oh, Brendan's a bully or whatever. And I know.
No, you are, mate. You are a bully. We see what you did to Bobby Lee. That's bullying. No, define bullying, I know, but that's bullying. Actually, gotta play that. Gotta play that. Define bullying, please. Is that the first one that comes up? Define bullying. Oh, look, boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. They just have a clip of it. Oh no, no one's just got a clip of it. Should we put it there? Oh, that's gonna be a good clip. I just want to say just a clip of it. Someone must have a clip of it. Define bullying, let's see. There we go. Someone's got it. Of course someone's got it. The best clip ever they've ever seen in your entire life.
Hey, will you clear bullying meaning define bullying for me?
These reactions are legitimately some of the best reactions you see. KHALYLA's and Bobby Lee's. That was epic. And it was you know what was about it? That was comedic excellence. It was Brendan struggling to remember the line because it was clearly a line that him and BGL, a line of questioning or pushback that Brendan and BGL had discussed before him going on this show. They discussed it because I think they saw all the memes or the constant mentions of it on the subreddit. So him and flipping BGL were talking about it, and one of the pushbacks was like, get them to define bullying. Because actually you're not bullying them, dude. Actually, you know, dude, all that sort of nonsense. And that's what he wanted to remember. So he was stuttering over remembering those, that fucking easy to say sentence. He finally gets it out, and it's the delayed reaction, one after the other. KHALYLA looking first, then Bobby Lee looking first. That's what makes it a pièce de résistance. Let's play it one more time.
Hey, will you clear bullying meaning define bullying for me?
KHALYLA, then Bobby Lee.
Like what? Like Callan bullied you?
One of the best clips ever, I swear to God. Anyway, continue.
No, I look like the guy, but if they actually knew me, these people know me. They've never met me. They're not buying tickets to a show, so I don't give it energy, because if I did, I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't have this house that I'm talking to you guys in.
Humble brag again. He did the Porsche, now he did the house brag. Because I got a Porsche, because I've got a house, this makes the unequivocal, crazy hordes amount of flipping people calling me out seem, irrelevant. They're all homeless. They're homeless. That's what they are. Let's actually see if we can find that clip. That's one of the good ones. Homeless. Let's see if we can find it. Someone clip that? Yeah, there we go. That's the one. The infamous homeless. Someone's got it. I love it. There's two of them. It's 4 months ago. The infamous. Okay, cool. It's the P.F. Chang's rant. Which one should we check out? Let's check out this one. This is longer. This is. If you're wondering why Brendan Schaub detractors or haters call themselves homeless cats, this is the origin story of where that come from. Absolutely epic rant.
Literally, if you're listening to this and you're whatever, you work at Starbucks, whatever, which I love, but it doesn't help the fighters when you tell,
because they know already. Yeah,
He's
saying like they
trust me, they know what they did wrong, but they also don't need advice from a guy who's never been in there. Like it's actually probably one of the worst things you can do. When I lost to, and I was young in my career, so especially at that time, you're ultra sensitive. When I lost to Roy Jones, never fought Roy. Yeah. When I lost to Roy Nelson, I was at PF Chang's with my family afterwards, and the waiter was giving me tips on a jab. And I went, oh, cool, man. I'm just trying to be cool. I'm way younger at the time, so your ego's crazy and you're aggro. And I'm trying to be cool. I'm with my family. I still have a black eye and a little bit of busted lip. Back of my head hurts. And I ordered my orange chicken, which I love from there, and the hot and sour soup is the best in the world. I still love PF Chang's. If I cheat meal on PF Chang's all day.
This is when he actually used to actually work out, and you could believe that he had cheat meals. Now every day is a cheat meal.
So I'm sitting there with all my family, and he goes,
the acid reflux as well is crazy, isn't it?
I saw the fight, man. I gotta say something. So with your jab, and he starts doing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, cool, I appreciate it, man. He keeps going, and I go, oh, cool, man. What are you doing here? You trying to get to UFC, or you have a box fight coming up? He goes, no, I took a few classes at LA Boxing, which is formerly known as the UFC gym. Took some, or is known now as the UFC gym, but at the time they're LA Boxing, which I used to work at. That's a whole nother story. But he goes,
so he used to work at this gym. It's associated with the UFC, so the guy clearly knows something, but because he's working at PF Chang's, he does not matter. And I'm sure this happens to other fighters. I'm sure most fighters might bump into some overzealous fan that basically wants to critique them or give them advice on something. And most fighters are probably gracious and just keep it moving. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for your suggestions. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, man. Thanks for support. And I'll go back to my family and just keep it moving. You won't mention it. But he's mentioning it because guess what? He thinks he's better than them. He thinks he's better than that guy because he's the fighter and that guy's working at PF Chang's. That's the really unfortunate part of this story. Because this story would be funny if he told it in a funny way, but the way that he's talking about it, he's talking about like, how dare this guy speak to me? I'm the UFC fighter. I just come from a loss. Don't speak to me. You don't know what you're talking about. Relax, check in, leave me alone. Really, really bad. Really, really bad.
I took a few classes at LA Boxing, man, and the guy was training me there, and I just thought I could help you with your jab. I'm like, very cool, man. Thank you. Could you please get my orange chicken? Just get my goddamn orange chicken, bro.
It's really
from a
weird.
good spot,
Yeah,
but it's just...
Oh, no, that's not the homeless one. The homeless one's the other one. This is the homeless one. Homeless cat. It's the homeless cat one. That's the wrong one. That's a PF Chang's one, but it's the homeless cat run.
But for the people that are negative or are on forums and are create troll accounts, I view those people the same I'd view a homeless guy critiquing my art or critiquing.
He hates hates people that critique his shit so much, and his stuff is so easy to critique. It's so terrible. Imagine being that bad and you actually can't take criticism at all. Oh, I love him. He's amazing. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Big up B Shaw.
Critiquing my set or critiquing a podcast, they do not matter. It literally does not matter to me.
I mean,
because someone, the person
Chin tried to help him out in the background. Not homeless, but he just carried on.
who would go out of their way to create that account or to live in their mom's basement or whatever job they're working could not even fathom the amount of work it takes to pull off something, whether it's a set or a good podcast.
Oh yeah, true. To pull off a set is so hard. To pull off a podcast is so difficult. Truly, only 1,000 of them. Thank them.
Or a business or merchandise, or it's just it does not matter. It does not matter to me.
It does not matter.
So when people lets that affect their mood or their life, it's mind-boggling. It's crazy to me. What do you care? It'd be the same as if a cat created a profile.
That's a good example.
Who cares?
Exactly. He's like, not even a homeless.
Even a homeless guy. If a homeless guy was just creating a profile and talking shit, it doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely love it, mate. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Anyway, go back to this.
Right now. So, I think the lines get blurred where it's like, oh, he's a big, strong guy. He's fighting UFC. He can handle this. There's no limits. Everything's off limits. There's nothing off limits. We can go as hard as we want him. It's like, it actually hurts my feelings, man. It's actually not cool, but jokes, I'm all for.
No, you're not though. You're not for jokes. You're not for critique. You're not for nothing. All you're for is buy my merch, buy my tickets. That's it. Watch my podcast. There is nothing to come back from that point. Really strange way to put it. But look at the next part. He's saying now it hurts his feelings. It's not nice. And then you'll see the mask will slip. If you say it to my face, I'll kill you. Watch what he says here.
All for, man. I'm a professional comic. We roast each other. We do our thing. So if it's funny, it's witty, fire away. But when you start going towards once you start going towards the personal side, well, then you've crossed the boundary, And now, also, if you want to have this conversation in person, you want to offend me, we can do that. I can do that.
See? So in one moment, it's not nice, and I feel attacked, and you're bullying me. And another side, it's like, I will kill you if you say it to my face. What are you, the aggressor or the victim? Pick one, my friend. You cannot be both, not at the same time.
We can see how it goes for you. That's never happened. As long as I've been in entertainment, I've never run into anybody that said something to my face. So I get what they're doing. If it's funny, it's witty, and they're going to do their thing, I actually appreciate it. But when you cross the boundary and you disrespect me a different way, that's where I have an issue with it. When I say issue with it, it means it hurts my feelings. I'm not going to do nothing to you.
You just said you were going to kill them if they saw you in front of you. Now you're not going to do nothing. Make your mind up as well. This guy has real time fucking CTE, right? Like, in the moment fucking amnesia. He just said a minute ago it was all. So what?
I'm not the bully you expect me to be. And then also, I think that subreddit has crossed the point. Not all of them. Some of them are actually just funny and they're fans. And
also, can somebody tell me what's up with the tongue? Why does his tongue look so heavy in his mouth? Is that is he swollen or what? What's happening?
That subreddit has crossed the point. Not all of them. Some of them are actually
it's like, it looks like it's inflamed.
Just funny and they're fans.
Have you ever been punched in the face and you bite your lip, or you just bite your lip, or you bite your tongue by accident, and it sort of swells up, and it kind of makes you feel? He's kind of talking like that. He kind of talks the way I'd think like those chihuahuas that have their little tongue sticking out. He kind of looks a little like that while he's talking. Or am I bugging out?
I'm not the bully you expect me to be. And then also, I think that subreddit has crossed the point. Not all of them. Some of them are actually just funny and they're fans and they just show it in a different way. And I understand that at my age. But, a lot.
Oh, nicotine. Okay, so nicotine pouch mouth. You were saying freshwater baddie. Please break my body and face, please. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people out there that have that kink. Please break me in half.
A lot of them have crossed that boundary where, they hide behind this keyboard and they want to do evil things, which I don't understand. To me, it's like, and for what? For what? Because I do stand up? You don't have to buy a ticket. Because I do free podcasts, that triggers you.
Right.
Well, you don't have to watch. So I just
Nope. It's because some people don't like that you may be a cheater. Some people don't like that you may be a bully. Some people don't like that you lie. Some people don't like that you may be interrupting people. Some people don't like that you're thin-skinned. Some people don't like that you may be, treat your fans poorly, or that you are somewhat hard to get along with in general. There are plenty of reasons. Even just the stories. Just that story alone of him throwing his college roommate through the glass window because they didn't want to share his food with him. That's probably enough to get people to be like, you know what, I'm cool on you. That's probably enough. Aside from everything else, aside from being best friends with an alleged rapist, aside from being best friend with an alleged diddler, like all those things are I think, worthwhile reasons why somebody will just not like the guy. But again, in his mind, it's all to do with free podcasts and all this sort of nonsense. That's legitimately insane, but also in it, narcissist behavior.
I'm just cut from a different cloth. I'm just a positive person.
No, you're not. You're the extreme hater.
Now,
anyone that says that I'm just super positive, it's always super negative, by the way. Word of reason to everybody out there. I think most people out there know, but anybody that you hear saying, oh, I'm just super positive, actually, I'm always nice. It's like, if you have to say that, you're not that person, usually.
There's some podcasters that will lean into it, and if there's beef between comics, they'll lean into that, and they like that controversy and that drama all the time, like it's Real Housewives of LA. And I would probably be much more famous and much further along my career if I entertained that. I just can't do it.
That's a lie, though. He says he doesn't like it, but inadvertently, without trying, he's the one that has the most drama. Who else? Can you guys name any other stand-up in the LA scene who has this many videos about them on flipping YouTube, or people dissecting everything that they do? He's a legit content generator. The amount of stuff, shitty stuff he says, crappy stuff he does, like, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I legitimately think, like, he's the only person I can think of that gets in that kind of drama. I can't think of anybody else in LA who legitimately gets in constant back and forths, or just drama, just in general. Like, even just now, that comment he made recently about, rescue dogs being for poor people. It's like, do you need to say that? Was it funny? No. Do you need to say that? No. There you go. Another bit of ET drama. Like, he always gets himself involved in stuff. Inadvertently, probably, because he's too redacted to do it on purpose. But still. Anyway, what can you do? What can you do? Big up that guy again, I think, in purpose. Bigging him up. Let's see. Hopefully it works out for him. Anyway, moving on. Let's do the main piece of the show, which is, unfortunately, subjecting ourselves to watching an entire show of the flipping golden hour, or as much as we can get through, as much as I can get through, because this is going to be absolutely brutal. But has to be done. Yes, big up that Indian dude for the super chat, $5. Appreciate it.
I hate Bobby Lee. That amount of spinelessness he displays constantly, I cannot stand those sort of people.
Yeah, big up that Indian dude for super chat. Appreciate you, brother. The spineless of Bobby Lee. Do you mean about the retracting the stories and saying all the stories were untrue? That probably, I believe, I'm agreeing with. Or if you just mean in general how he acted with Brendan and everything going on there, I wouldn't blame him too much if you're talking about the whole KHALYLA Brendan thing, because what's he to do? I mean, he's like a dweeby looking, skinny, dweeby small Asian dude who clearly has some like self-confidence issues or whatnot, insecurities and whatnot, and clearly is somebody that doesn't perform well in confrontations or whatnot. Clearly can't fight based on what happened with him and Ari. I don't blame him for being a little bit scared of what would have transpired if Brian Callen and flipping Brendan Schaub ganged up on him. I can understand that, but overall I'm a bit disappointed in that his whole persona was that he kind of grew up being a loser, always somebody kind of disregarded, and then it made him a desperate person. His kind of personality is being desperate. So when he had those stories about going to Tijuana and allegedly maybe getting into some paying for something with somebody who may have been underage, that seemed kind of real, and it seemed sad and funny and pathetic at the same time because it matched his personality. But it kind of made some people love the guy because he was honest enough to say, hey, I was nobody before stand-up comedy. Girls didn't look my way, so I had to be desperate and do desperate things, which is stuff like this, like going to Tijuana to try, and do whatever. And now that he's come out and basically retracted everything and said, no, it didn't happen, it's kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth, because essentially it kind of calls into question his entire existence. And it also shows you just the levels of desperation these guys are willing to go to kind of, you know, ensure that their careers stay where they are, and or they kind of seen a certain way. I can see it on one side because again, you have to look after yourself, but also on the other end, it's a bit dicey. But you know, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. His fans don't really care. If you go on a subreddit and you mention the Tijuana story, those guys get they actually get angry. They ban people for mentioning those dicey stories. So clearly his fans don't care. So it makes me think, why did he need to retract his statement and kind of lie about it and say he always lies? I'm assuming because his agents probably told him to do so, but his fans don't give a fuck. So why bother lying, or why bother kind of saying it's all not true? Strange thing to do, but you know, whatever. Moving on, let's talk about this and let's watch this. This is the episode number 24 of Golden Hour with Brendan Schaub and Eric D'Elia, you know, Eric Griffin and Chris D'Elia, sorry. Let's see what these guys have been saying.
I can play Anne Frank.
So it was Anne Frank that was...
Yeah.
She had to be quiet.
I bet Brendan doesn't know who Anne Frank is. Brendan has no idea who Anne Frank is. I'm almost certain of it. He has no idea who Anne Frank is. Almost certain. No idea.
Imagine you have to do that for 24 hours a day.
Oh my God.
Just wait for 24 hours.
We're friends that laugh. We're friends.
Last night, I went to a screening of this movie I was in. It's called Somewhere in Queens. It's Ray Romano's directorial debut.
Look at his outfit. That's a proper LA comedian outfit, isn't it? If ever you've seen one. Like, what the fuck is this? I remember that time that I went to LA, right? There was this guy that was staying in my hostel. Just imagine this, how sad this was. Looking back at the time, I thought he was quite cool, but now looking back, I'm thinking, rotted. There was this guy that was staying in my hostel. I think it was I went to LA and I stayed in the Generator Hostel. I'm not sure if you guys know in LA, there's a hostel called the Generator Hostel. It's like a green one. It's pretty fun. Quite a lot of cool people I met there, actually. A lot of people that I kind of ended up kind of being friends with on Facebook, but then I deleted my Facebook and, you know, now I don't know them, so it hurts. But anyway, whatever. He was staying in that hostel, sorry, and he was a director of movies and shit, right? Hey, big up that Indian dude.
Also to Brendan, every time you put out a creative endeavor out, you are opening yourself to criticism. It comes with the job.
Basically that. Thank you, that Indian dude, for it. I appreciate you for the super chat, my friend. Yeah, that's basically, I didn't make that point. I should have made it before, but thank you for the reminder. That basically is a crux of it. If you make anything online or you're opening yourself up to putting content out online, you just have to be open to some people saying, hey, you stink. Hey, you're ugly. Hey, you're fat. Hey, your nose looks weird. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. It's just parcel of the game. If you can't handle that side of things, probably don't put that stuff online. Or basically stop complaining and crying about it. No one cares. No one matters. But anyway, going back to Eric Griffin's, there was a guy in my hostel who basically was a director at the time I stayed in LA, and he was pitching movies or something, or going, I don't know, whatever stuff he was making up. But he also seemed to always be in the hostel trying to creep on girls, which was funny. So you're meant to be working, but here you are trying to pick up like 21-year-old Swedish girls and shit. Bizarre, but hey, let him rock. But one thing I remember being kind of bummed out about him is that I remember because Joe Diaz used to hate it. Joe Diaz used to hate those guys that from LA that used to have like the scarves. I think he's got a joke about it. Like, you know, I'm an LA person, I have this scarf and I walk around with a coffee in my hand. And that guy was the same. He had like a scarf. He'd wear like a scarf with short sleeve t-shirt, and he sometimes have this like director, creative fucking hat thing on. Usually these hats, people wear them if either they're fat, either they have no hair, or they're just, I don't know, they're gamers or something. I don't know who else wears these sort of hats. But with Eric, he's fat, obviously, but he has a lot of hair. He has a pretty decent head of hair. So I don't know why he's wearing this fucking silly, you know, I don't know what this hat is. It's fucking, it's worse than a fedora. It's up there with a fedora. It's absolutely horrible. And it kind of reminds you of that guy, because I remember the sad thing about that director guy I met at a hostel. He had a business card. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, right? The director had a business card he gave me, and it had little small pictures of all the movie posters of the movies. Yeah, it had a small business card with really small pictures of posters of the movies that he directed, these independent movies that he'd done. So he'd kind of shrunken the pictures of the fucking poster and had them printed on a fucking business card. Imagine how small a business card is. And then imagine having to see a little fucking 10 by 10 size image of a poster on it, laminated, handed it to me. I was thinking, fucking hell, mate. LA is so sad sometimes. The people that make it live amazingly. You get to live in the flipping Hollywood Hills behind a massive gate with security and shit and big dogs and massive cars and amazing life. But then if you don't make it, you're living in a hostel because you're in between houses. You're trying to pick up 21-year-old Scandinavian girls. And you're trying to impress me, a guy from the UK who doesn't know anything, by giving me a laminated flipping business card with small pictures of your movie posters on them. Hashtag sad.
Debut.
This guy's in a movie about New York, and now he's a fucking hat guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, hey, you know what?
No, let me tell you something. It was so good.
Well, you look horrible, brother. The hat looks terrible. The shirt looks diabolical. And the jacket looked like you pick it up at a depot store.
Not even. Yeah, I was in it, but it's called Somewhere in Queens.
I remember when you shot that.
Yeah.
How long ago did you shoot it?
Oh man, like 2 years ago. It's
that
crazy.
long?
It was in the middle of COVID. I just want to say Ray Romano
Genius.
as a director and actor, and the movie was so good. Like there was it was like.
You can't say this now because if the movie comes out and it's dog shit, we're gonna be dunking on you.
You cry a couple times, but then you laugh. Like the balance between drama and it was perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So shout
I
out
love Ray Romano, man.
Yeah, he's a good
Ray
dude.
Romano's awesome.
Beast
so
stand up.
shout out to that. So go check out Somewhere in Queens. It comes out April 24th, I believe.
Go see it somewhere in Queens.
No, that's cool. That's cool, dude. That's cool.
Oh my god. Oh my god, did you hear that joke attempt? Did you hear that? Let's go back to that.
Awesome.
Beast
so
stand up.
shout out to that. So go check out Somewhere in Queens. It comes out April 24th, I believe.
Go see it somewhere in Queens.
No, that's.
He started laughing before he said
Somewhere
the
in
joke.
Queens. It comes out April 24th, I believe.
Go see it somewhere in Queens.
He legitimately thought that was hilarious. That's what I've said before. Like, part of the amazing thing about this dude isn't the fact that his comedy is terrible and shit and whatnot. It's more so the fact that in his head, my guy thinks he's Louis C.K. That's pretty fascinating to watch in real time. He legitimately thinks he is, like, I don't know. It's fucking hilarious, man, to see. Wow. Okay.
No, that's cool. That's cool, dude. That's.
And because he pays his bills, you know, and he cuts him a check, Eric Griffin had to laugh.
Cool. I like Ray Romano a lot, dude.
Did you
I
see
made a
Ray's
fool of
special?
myself. When?
Where he like they followed.
Also, is it me, or does it feel like with the text on the bottom here, maybe I'm just being too picky, does it feel like the show's always about to finish? Because I don't read this. Now I read it, it says something different. To participate in the show, email us at the golden hour subs@gmail.com. But it feels like with this text, it's like the show's about to finish. Like it's credits or some shit. All the time when I see it. It's a weird thing in your brain. You're like, hold on, is it about to start or is it finishing? But anyway, let's continue.
Him like going from each
Oh, no,
stage.
I haven't, no.
He did like 9 sets
Right
in
around.
New York.
Oh.
Yeah, it was cool.
I made a fool of myself in front of Ray Romano. The last time I ran into him. I know.
Oh, when was the last time? Before you got accused of being a diddler or after you got accused of being a diddler? That's what we need to know. Because I'm assuming if Ray Romano saw you now, he'd run.
I've met him before, and
It'd be like before diddling or after diddling? So it'd be like BD or AD. That's what you need to know. BD or AD. All Crystalia stories. Is it BD or AD?
you know, it was just really loud. It was at the upstairs of the Comedy Cellar. And they were like, do you want to say hi to Ray? I was like, oh, yeah. And I shook his hand, and I said for some reason, so nice to meet you. And he was like, and I was like, oh, I know you. And then I think I said under my breath, I know you. It was just...
You panicked.
Embarrassing. But I didn't panic. I just said, it's nice to meet you. I think I was in that mode because I was meeting people.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then I was like, oh no. Because he's like
Because
bigger than I am, and I don't want to be like, oh, I don't remember meeting you. Of course I remember meeting you.
He's
like,
a comic, dude.
I know, it's so dumb. It was so dumb.
Well, you're so self-involved a lot, so it's hard for
All right,
you
it
to,
wasn't
like...
that, dude. People were people trying to take pictures with me. I was like, yeah, hi, nice to meet you, nice to meet you, nice to meet you.
Like, hey, Ray, what do you want, an autograph?
I know,
He's like,
it's
what?
Stupid. And
the only time I kind of fucked up like was with Margot Robbie. I was working the Oscars, and I was waiting for an Uber, and she was like getting a black car.
Yeah.
And I saw her, I'm like, holy shit. And I was like,
is she so hot in person?
Oh, dude,
really?
Like breathtaking. I was like,
press X for doubt. I think he did see Margot Robbie, but she was not standing next to him. She was probably down the street. He recognized her, saw a silhouette, and saw her waiting for a cab. But the idea that they had a conversation like this, no. I don't believe it in the slightest. This is a stonewall lie, in my opinion. Hardcore lie. But again, because he thinks like mentioning these stories makes him look as famous as the people he's mentioning it. He wants to be like famous adjacent. You're not at that level. I don't think so, personally, for me. No way. That he's standing just next to Margot Robbie in the flipping, taxi rank, waiting for taxis to come. Like, come on, man. Let's just, whatever.
waiting for an Uber. She's like, what? I was like,
oh, no.
You waiting for an Uber? She's like, no. I was like, God, why would you? Stupid.
Yeah.
And my Uber pulled up, it was like a Prius. I'm like, see you later.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Was she literally like, no? Was she
Yeah.
like doing that?
Not
oh,
having
wow.
it. Not having it.
Jesus.
She's like, no. I'm
Wow.
like, okay, see you later.
Yeah, I know. Me neither.
And I just jumped through the window of the Prius.
I know, then the Prius
Yeah,
pulls
yeah,
up, and he's like, I'm not waiting for Uber. And he's like, Brandon?
Yeah.
Like, keep going. Keep going.
Oh,
going.
man.
He's like, that's weird. This guy knows my name.
No, my name is Rick. That's not me. Brendan Schaub? Rick.
No, you're on the picture here.
I'm Rick.
I know, he pulls the phone out. That's you, man.
That's you, man. Yeah.
In the car.
My name is Rick Glassman. She's like, I know Rick Glassman. Oh, fuck. You just piss.
Shit yourself.
Shit.
No, but I remember the first time I, like, just, you know what it is? Ray Romano's like such a, like, it's almost like his voice and everybody loves Raymond, all that. So it's kind of like, it's so iconic and distinct that you kind of like, it's like meeting your,
like, yeah,
it's such a weird,
right.
like, so when I did this movie, I'm in New York and like, you had to quarantine at the time, and then the quarantine's about to end and I get a phone call and I don't know who it is. It says restricted, and that's why and it's Ray Romano.
Yeah.
She just said redacted.
Yeah.
And I was so like,
yeah.
You hear his voice and you're like, oh, fuck.
What was he calling you for?
Yeah. Because he wanted to be, hey, thanks for doing the movie.
Oh, that's cool,
and
man.
He took me to, he was like, we're going to go to dinner, man. I'm like, yeah. We go to the cellar, and it's like walking in with John Gotti.
Because also, he's got money, right?
Oh,
yeah.
that sitcom,
right.
early
Old guard.
2000s.
But you wouldn't know.
Shit.
You wouldn't
I know.
know.
Right.
He has an old Casio on. He's one of those dudes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, man.
Disappointing.
The dude is like, and then he said,
of course, it's disappointing. You fucking borrowed money off your dad to buy a Ferrari.
and he just, what's funny? We're
Allegedly.
So out at lunch, and he's talking about stand up, and he goes, "Yeah, but he goes, I only do stand up like maybe 4 times a year."
What?
4 times a year, and he was like, he goes, yeah, I get on the. I didn't want to say it. He was like, the private jet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When he does it,
and I said to him like this, dude. You earned that.
We also know.
I was like, you earned that. Like, don't be like. But that's how he is. He's such a humble.
To give the guy some credit, though, I do have I remember seeing I saw a clip of it. Eric Griffin is, weirdly enough, a really good comedic actor. I think he's probably, weirdly enough, a better comedic actor than he is a stand-up. It's probably the opposite for Brian Callen. Brian's definitely a better stand-up than he is a comedic actor, but Brian Callen clearly wants to be famous more for acting than he wants to do stand-up. Like, even in the early days of T-Fat-K, he'd always come late. He'd always miss shows because of auditions. He never really wanted to be a podcaster, really. He kind of saw that as, like, beneath him in some regard, which is funny because in the end, it's the one thing that saved him when you end up getting cancelled, right? The ability to kind of pay your bills was still there because he had podcasting. If he just put all his chips into acting, he'd be fugged. So that helped. But I think Eric Griffin's actually a better actor than he is a stand-up. He's actually quite decent. I saw a clip of him in the, him playing that Montez character, and he was pretty good, to be fair. He's a good actor.
Humble, nice guy.
Where is
He also made bank off the Ice Age movies. Stupid bank.
Well, wait. So what is this? He's coming up doing shows
in
in
Vegas.
Yeah, he's got shows.
Brian
in
Regan.
Vegas.
Brian's a monster too. That'd be a good show at the Mirage.
Oh, but that's not many seats, and they must be holding those tickets.
It's not till April.
Yeah, they should be.
You know what?
It's April
funny,
now.
It's funny. Last night he said,
"Hey, that's this week."
Yeah, it's not till April. It's tomorrow.
When he was talking last night, he goes.
So he's okay. So that's Brendan taking the piss out of Ray Romano not selling a lot of seats, right? Even though the venue looks pretty crazy. Just hold that thought for a minute because somebody posted this, which I thought was hilarious, right? Have I got it still here loaded, or it's hopefully I still have it here? Somebody posted this thing that I thought was absolutely hilarious. For somebody that keeps talking about people not selling tickets and stuff, it's kind of funny because if you look at it, this guy doesn't sell many tickets himself. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think it was on the. I think I may have it on here. Let me just check if I can see it. but somebody put up this post, which I thought was quite hilarious on the Friday Kid sub, featuring a collection of dates. No, some data that kind of proves that maybe thinking what you could have Brenda might be Blogbuzzer himself. Let's see if I can find it here. Not that one. Oh, this is the one. There's another one here. We'll actually go through it as well. Actually, that's what we'll do. We're going to go through his dates and just double check them, because I'm sure it's a lot harsher than what it kind of looks like. See if I can find it. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's not that. There we go. We found it. It's here. So this post, and let's actually go on the guys flipping them. Let's go on the guys flipping website too. Actually, let's see. Let's go on his website. Has he got one for his tickets and shit? Oh no, it's TFATK, isn't it? It's tfatk.com. Let's check this out, because I'm curious, because he's taking the piss out of Ray Romano. I'm now curious to see what he's doing tickets wise and sales wise, because it's not that easy. That's the thing that is, again, that I think is he makes it easy for people to kind of tease him and take the piss out of him, because there's no need to be laughing and kind of mocking people for their ticket sales when this guy can't sell out like 200 cap rooms and shit, despite the Rogan rub, having a widely successful podcast and all that malarkey. That's quite bad. So let's click this. Oh, look at that way they flipping inflate the views as well. They have the main video on the site. Oh, the little games that they play in it. Look at that. That is really underhanded, isn't it? That is clever, obviously, but really underhanded as well. Everyone that visit the flipping TFATK sub, main site to see his tickets, you get immediately spammed with the latest episode of the flipping TFATK of the Friday Kid, and it auto plays. So you don't even realize it's auto playing on mute, so that they get these views clocking in as well on top of whatever views they get on the main YouTube. Anyway, let's go to tour dates. Let's click here. So this is the one that just passed, right? The 13th today, this weekend actually. Let's see here. Oh, cool. Access denied. Really? Okay, cool. Maybe they blocked me from buying tickets. Let's see the following weekend, La Jolla in California. Let's see what this is saying. 9 p.m. Friday show. Let's see what ticket's saying here, because allegedly, the other guy is doing badly. Let's see here. Let's see get tickets. What's happening here? What's that venue here? Where's that? La Jolla and where? La Jolla, LA, right? People are saying here, right? Let's see. What's the venue? Is that the one? The Comedy Store in La Jolla. What's the capacity of that one? The capacity of La Jolla is 450. So how many have sold in this one so far? Let's see. More details. What's the general admission tickets? 20. Let's see if we can buy 8 tickets. Can we get 8 tickets? Yes, you can get 8 tickets right now. You can get 8 tickets. You can get 8 flipping GA tickets, right? Clear my ticket schedule. Let's go back. Let's see how many VIPs you can get. Can you get 4 VIPs? Yes, you can. So the idea that this is different is hilarious. Let's see. Can you actually go in the Jolla Comedy Store and see if you can get tickets on there as well, like directly? Let's see. Let's scroll down. Who the hell is that? Who's Tumu? So many comedians out there that I have no idea who they are in it, and they're probably killing it or not killing it. But who the hell is this Tumu? Wow, fuck me. Let's go on calendar. What day was it? Was it the June the 2nd? Right, he's got a big. Oh, okay, I think that's because he's doing the European, right? It's a big gap between April and June. What's he doing in between there? No dates have been confirmed yet. It's a lot of dates missing there, my guy. Okay, let's scroll down. That's April. Who are these people? Jimmy Schubert, Josh Adam Myers. I know because he had that podcast about albums, right? Musical albums and stuff. I remember him. There's a show called Pretty Funny Woman. Fucking hell! Imagine paying for this shit. How much are these tickets? It's actually quite incredible that they actually have people turning up to pay $25 for a show called Pretty Funny Woman. Like, what does that even mean? Or is it all women comedians or something? Veteran comedian Lisa Sundetz, the longest running all female comedy show in the. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's a legacy show. That makes a stand. But it's just a weird show to have. Like, what next? Like All Black Night or something? Do they have that shit as well? All Black Nights. That's kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie. Another guy here called Jeff Dyer. Oh, that's the guy that was Brendan's friend for a bit, but now doesn't hang around with him anymore. I remember him. Ian Edwards is pretty funny. He comes on podcasts. He's quite good. I like that guy. River Butcher. Who the fuck is River Butcher? Fuck, you know. Is that a boy or is that a girl? I don't know. But big up River Butcher regardless. Another Ali Sadiq is really funny also. Got some good stories. Okay, this Brendan Shaw story, comedy store. So even though he's not a regular, he's still getting some dates playing there. That's pretty good to be fair. He's still getting some dates to perform. So I see some ticket sales here. What is it going here? Okay, same thing before. Fuck me, mate. Pretty insane. Joe Sib, I don't know who that. Jay Moore. Oh, this is the guy that bullied Bert Kreischer early on, right? This is the guy that gave Bert Kreischer PTSD. I think he bullied him. I think he's also the guy that is weirdly enough dating one of the owners of the Lakers, right? That woman. What's her name? Is it Jeannie Buss or something? Jeannie Bust? I think he's the one that's dating Jeannie Buss. Hence why she's got all these comedian friends and shit. But yeah, Jay Moore, he's the one that bullied Bert Kreischer. He didn't bully him enough, I think. He should have bullied him some more. Who's this? Nick Swardson is performing there. Who else is there? Chaunty Winans. Is she a Winans sister? Right, I didn't know there's girls in the family. I thought there was all boys. Okay, cool. Who else is on here? Tommy Davidson. There's so many comedians out there doing bits, getting booked who I have no idea exist. Do you guys know who Jason Cheney is? Jason Cheney? People say, who's Rafi Bastos? Is he a European one? Who's that? Fuck me. There's so many. Michael Yo, oh yeah, we all know Michael Yo is. If you listen to Joe Rogan podcast, he wouldn't shut up about Michael Yo because he was the first guy in the stand-up comedy space who got flipping COVID in it. And because he's somewhat fit and works out and shit, everybody was getting worried because like, oh, if he's got COVID and he's really sick, we might all die. But yeah, he ended up being okay. But yeah, you wouldn't shut up about Michael Yo. Adam Ray would know. Adam Ray, I actually love to be. I actually got a lot of time for him. I actually think what's his podcast called? It was really good before the little short guy got cancelled, man. I think it was really good, but unfortunately when he got cancelled, the show kind of lost steam. About Last Night, I think that's a podcast called. It was I used to really enjoy listening to that. Him and what's his name? What's the guy's name again? I forgot his name. The short guy that got cancelled for telling that rape story. Another guy here, Chad Prattner. Anyway, let's go back to this. I keep getting distracted because fucking Golden Hour is terrible. Let's go back to Golden Hour. I'm wasting too much time. Where is it? There you go.
He goes, yeah, look, guys, I'm going to be in. There's like, he goes, there's like 1,200 seats and there's 600 available. So if anybody wants to go,
this was where?
Last night at the premiere.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he was like,
especially with Brian Regan, they must be holding the tickets for people.
Or it's just he's competing like Celine Dion's down the road.
Still, Vegas is a late buy, but still, that's Ray Romano and Brian Regan.
Yeah, it'd be a great show.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that show.
I would go.
You know. Yeah, I'll be in Ohio coming up, chrisleah.com. I'll be in Salt Lake City. I think that's sold out, but we'll be in Montreal, dude, Hamilton, Ontario. You know, all sorts of great places. Nashville, dude. What the
You're all over, Daddy.
I really am, actually.
I'm in Atlanta this week.
I would wish you'd stop telling us about the sold out ones. Just tell us about the ones you're still trying to sell tickets.
Because what happens is...
Because then you're being an asshole.
Because what happens
is... You know
what
I mean? No, you're being an asshole.
No.
You go like this. Guys, Salt Lake City.
Good marketing.
But it's sold out.
But you don't get the joke, bro? You get the joke. This guy's acting like it's real.
Yeah.
Dude, this is my pet peeve, motherfucker. You don't do that shit. If I'm doing a joke, you don't act like it's real, you fucking hat-wearing piece of shit.
Hey.
If I'm doing the joke,
I'm a detective now.
Yeah. But
and
also,
I'm cutting through your bullshit.
But here's the other thing, though. Sometimes they're not sold out when I say it now, but in a few days it might be sold out when the podcast comes out. So that's why also I do that.
Wow, that's even worse.
I'm bad.
So you're anticipating the sellout
because it is going to sell out,
When does this come out?
Thursday. Same time every day Thursday.
Check me out in Missouri at the whatever it's called.
The Blue
Room?
Blue Nose?
Blue Room.
Great room.
Yeah, it's called. Love them, though. They're great. It's a great room. I'm going to be there. And then I'm not saying Louisville.
Honestly, I'm going to die on this hill. I absolutely hate it when these comedians ring off their dates. It's so obnoxious. It's so annoying. And in the grand scheme of things, if you're a fan and you want to watch them, you're going to find out where they're going to play. You're going to find out. You're going to search for tickets yourself. You don't need them to flip in, keep reminding you every minute of the day. It's so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious. It's so annoying. It really, really is. Like, stop it. Just say, hey, all my dates are up on the website now. New dates have been added. Check them out. I might be in your city coming soon or whatever. and then keep it moving. No one cares about exactly precisely where you're gonna be, especially if you say it with this level of enthusiasm. Like, go get fucked, man.
Oh, right. Am I not saying it right?
Well, they make you say Louisville, but
Louisville, because somebody said me, do you want your fans to come say it right?
Nah,
and then
dude,
Comedy
you say it the way you
Mothership,
want.
April 28th to the 30th. I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, looking good.
That'll be fun. Look, let's go back here again.
Comedy
say it the way you
Mothership,
want.
April 28th to the 30th. I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, looking good.
I'm super happy. Oh, I fucking love it. Actually, talking about that, let's go back to this. Just wanted to mention this quickly, right? So, somebody from the Fire and the Kids subreddit put this together. PF Chang's Bapper UK and Ireland update. And I'm actually going to go to this. So, I actually want to go. Let me just double check and see what the dates are. London. I actually need to buy tickets because I need to remember. So, June 22nd, he's coming here. And I think they're all available. Not one of these dates is sold out, which is pretty crazy considering he hasn't been to the UK or to Ireland in maybe a few years, isn't it? Since the last time he was here, which was ages ago, it feels like. Maybe 5-6 years ago. So let me see how many tickets are available for the O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire. Actually, let's see what's the capacity of this place. Let's see this thing. Let's see what I'll go on with him. The capacity of the O2 Shepherd's Bush Academy is 2,000. God almighty, that's a lot of tickets to shift. Fuck me. All right, cool. 2,000, right? And according, let's go back here again. Is there just the one? Let's actually see how many. Can you actually buy any tickets now? Are they available? If you go to Gigantic, Thursday, 22nd of June, I'm actually going to be there. So be prepared to hear my flipping review when it does come out. All the seats are available. Every single one's available. Let's see the £30 seats. Level 1. Let's see 6. Can we get 6 of those? Yes, you can. Can we get 6 of these? Yes, you can. Can we get 6 of these? Yes, you can. God almighty, they're all available. Every single one. But I have to give him a little bit of, I have to kind of white knight for him a little bit. Am I the only one who thinks these numbers are quite good? So these are numbers that have been crunched together by the people over at the Find the Kids subreddit. So big up them for putting this together. Actually, let me see if I can get the actual name of the person who did it. The poster name is GTS Spaceman or GT Spaceman. So big up them for putting that together. It's absolutely amazing. But essentially, this is a number crunching of the amount of tickets he's actually sold, right? And here, for the ticket sales, London Shepherd's Bush Empire, which is what I'm going to go to, it says seated, okay, seated capacity, true, because 2,000, I think, is just including the stores standing. So seated capacity is 1,008. And according to this person, he has sold maybe 375 tickets. Am I the only person that thinks that these numbers are pretty decent? For somebody as unfunny as Brendan, and considering how unpopular he is, this is a pretty decent amount, because I think a lot of people, will just buy tickets in the UK because of the novelty, that the fact that he's an American comic who doesn't come here often. That will be part of the reason to do it. And I'm sure he has some legit fans also out here. But am I the only person that thinks 375 tickets before June is not too bad? Because he's definitely going to get a few last minute people coming in and snapping up tickets, because I'll do the same thing. I never buy tickets so early in advance. Like, I'm going to wait until the very last minute to get one myself. So this is not too shabby. Or am I bugging out? Or am I being too charitable? That's like 10 times more people than when you saw him in Cleveland. Yet true. Which you have a good point. If you go hit with the red bar, which is I know he ain't selling out O2. Tim Dillon played there, sold it out. Yeah, true. Yeah, Tim Dillon sold out. He can definitely sell it out. And then O2 Academy in Glasgow, 1,350 seated capacity. Tickets sold 494, which I still think is decent. Belfast Ulster Hall, seated capacity 1,010, and he sold 383. Cardiff St David Hall, 2,000 seated, he sold 315. Combined seats available over the 4 nights, 5,368. Combined tickets sold so far, seats over 4 nights, 1,567. Bit dicey. Number of tickets sold over 10% so far, so 29.19 tickets sold so far. Changes thus far unable to access seating for Manchester and Dublin, but that's pretty decent, I think. What do we think? That's not too bad, and he might get some decent openers people who are maybe local who may sell to more tickets as well last minute. You never know, but I don't think this is too shabby. But I also think it's hilarious because this guy is in no position to be laughing at Ray Romano, maybe not selling out a flipping, last minute gig or whatever he's doing, because these tickets are brutal. Imagine turning up to a venue that's got 1,000 seats and you only sold 300. That's going to look very empty. You're going to be able to tell you haven't sold the tickets. That's why, maybe being a stand-up, you have to have a lot of mental fortitude, because you're going to spend a lot of time just standing in front of an audiences where you haven't sold many tickets and stuff, and people are going to just laughing at you and shit. But yeah, big up them regardless. Fucking hell, kind of brutal. Actually, what am I doing? Let's go back to the video. Let's stop that one. Which one is this? This one, isn't it? Yeah.
Go see all of us when we're all on tour and all that stuff. Dude, I just did Springfield is Springfield, right?
Yeah. That's Chris Mack saying it's bad, but it's certainly not good. Yeah, Chappelle opened for him when I saw him, but I doubt they're still toured together. No, I don't think they do. Chappelle Lacey's he's gone. He's off. And I think most likely he want to keep the cost down. He won't want to fly over his own openers, so most likely he'll probably just take whoever's given to him, by the promoter or whatever. That's what most people do. Unless you're super rich or you're successful, you can fly over people yourself, or you're just very particular. But most people just take whoever's given to them because it just, it makes more financial sense, I guess.
It's awesome. We've talked about that, but it's awesome. You're going to have such a good time. You've been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've been to that club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the old guy was open.
Yeah.
So
He's open this time?
You talked about
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
So am I? How's my
yeah,
hat?
I like the style.
It suits about my hat.
It suits
it's age appropriate.
You look horrible.
I dig it, Doug.
Age appropriate.
No, just meaning
Sometimes I
like,
want to back.
No, it's good.
You know what I mean? Like this.
No,
how dare you?
No, you look successful. Is what I'm saying.
Right,
It's like
there we go.
Like if a young guy does it, like, all right, what's he trying to cover up, man? He's going through something.
There's some people
No, you just look terrible. You can't dress, but it kind of is what it is.
have like a thing where fashion works for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No matter who it is, they can wear some stuff, and you're like, okay, that makes sense, even if it doesn't make sense. Jared Leto.
I don't know if
Jared
I
Leto
agree
can
with-
wear some nonsense, and you're like, okay, I get it, even if you don't like it.
Yes.
I don't know if I agree with
hate
that
your Jared Leto
statement.
Like I can't. If I have some torn jeans on, I'm gonna look ridiculous.
I disagree with that. I think there's a difference between
That's because
saying,
you're 43.
No, but
you're starting to look ridiculous.
I just started being 43. I think that the
just started.
I think that
this is new.
That's funny.
There's a difference between saying, here are the clothes I'm wearing, and here am I wearing these clothes.
Well, okay, shut up, Chris. Today did the fuck. What's Zach saying? What? I went to see Schaub a couple of years ago, and his first joke was a line he stole from Theo about the kind of shoes you should wear when all your friends are sexual predators. That's hilarious. Imagine him thinking that people in the UK don't watch stuff online and don't have internet, so he could just come here and just, steal people's jokes, and no one will notice. Create another country. That's incredible. Just imagine that's what he thought he'd to do. Oh, mate. What's Chris Mack saying? Shane Gillis brought Matt Makowska to Australia with him. Tim Dillon brought Ben Avery and Sam Talent with him. Yeah, but to be fair, I think Brendan's going to be cheap and try and cut cost. Not even be cheap. He just knock that guy to fly over openers. I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to take whoever's given to him, and it's just going to be him, Big J, and somebody else, whatever. They're out on a trip. Maybe Chin might hang out there. Who knows? But I really much doubt he's going to be able to. He's going to want to do it. Even if he had the money, I don't think he wants to do it because he probably wants to pocket as much money as possible because it is a little bit of a hustle to him.
You have an attitude of, oh, here are the clothes I'm wearing. If you have the attitude, this is me in these clothes, then people accept you in that.
And you don't care what they think.
If Jared Leto was just walking around in regular clothes, a regular guy all of his life, and then started dressing the way he does, you'd be like, what a fucking idiot. But his whole life, ever since he was 16 on whatever that show was with Claire Danes, this
My
guy's
So-Called Life, one of the greatest shows ever.
It was good?
Oh, such a great
people
show.
love that show. But it was going to be
back then?
Yeah, he was always that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so it's like this is me in these clothes rather than
that was him.
You know what I mean?
Still crushing it.
Isn't it crazy how right here he looks the same?
Yeah.
This podcast.
It is actually pretty nuts.
He's a vampire.
It is pretty nuts how great he looks for his age. It makes me wonder what he looks like actually close up when you're talking to him, because there's got to be a difference in what you know. I know that the high def cameras show a lot, but I mean, what is he? 50 what?
52.
That's it's crazy.
He looks better than everybody up here.
Bruh, so Jared Leto allegedly is 2 years older than Bert Kreischer. Riddle me that.
Look at his fucking.
Well, that's obviously Photoshop.
Look at his ocean blue eyes.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
What do you mean
that's
that's no?
Photoshop,
That's
yeah.
real, dude.
No.
No, when he's on Instagram, no filter, dude, he's popping.
That freaking show got canceled after one season.
Yeah,
It's
So-Called Life is a weird thing.
It was
You're
so
talking about
crazy.
that, right?
Yeah.
I thought, didn't they do two?
No.
It was weird though, because everyone loved it. Why did it get canceled?
It was some kind of like money thing or some kind of like whatever. But like that is one of the. I'm telling you, like there's a character on the show that you'll be like, that's me. That's how great the show was. That's such. You gotta just watch it.
He sells out theaters. Back then, the character on the show sold out theaters.
Oh my God, you're such an asshole.
No. Oh, okay. Well, maybe for different reasons.
Maybe it's not me.
Okay.
Are you guys on your DraftKings app?
Yeah, I was making a bet because it's the NBA playoff.
And score.
It literally takes out. Rex MD has a
Keep and you
facts of generic.
How long
They
is
need to
that?
do
Those are numbers.
They need to do a podcast. You know how crazy it is, like that era of people like Ray Romano, Tim Allen.
Okay, I can't. I give up. I can't. I'm tapped out. 15 minutes in, I can't do it. It's so fucking boring. I can't do it. I'm out. I'm tapping out. I think one last video to play is one I saw on the kids subreddit. I can't do it, man. I'm trying to watch along with this shit, but it's legitimately making my brain melt. I feel the brain juice is leaking out one of my ears, mate. Fucking hell, that was brutal. Absolutely, legitimately brutal. Wow. 3 legit stand-ups who, or 2 legit stand-ups and 1 podcast, and they can't put together a somewhat entertaining show. And there's not even like a reason behind it also. It's just them rambling. It's meant to be the golden hour. It's like, it should be some themes around it, some topics, some structure where they do stuff. It's just them rambling about nonsense and having people phone in and them ignore their questions and shit. I'm not a fan of that shit. No, thank you. Anyway, so we're going to play this. We're going to play this. This is interesting. I haven't actually seen this. This is a video courtesy of the Final Kids subreddit. It's called The Redacted War, made by LEVON TR. It looks like a thing that's been generated with just using AI, I think so. I think so. It's just like an AI sort of like generated thing, but it looks really cool. I'm going to watch this as a kind of closing out section of the pod. So let's watch this. It's called The Redacted War. Put this onto full screen and let's watch this together.
To some, it was a place to make jokes. To others, a creative outlet. To a few, it's a place to be a dick. The truth? It's a place to discuss the podcast. This is Chang's.
The Redacted War.
The comedian who mobilized an army against himself. Started perhaps the greatest man.
Wow.
Who found himself stuck in a sinking ship.
Wow. This is so good. This is so well done. Okay, so what I say? We just said a guy in the TMOS Discord. Where's TMOS? Where's TMOS? Why don't I know this? Why is it making my head hurt? Levon. So yeah, big up Levon, however you say that name. You absolutely smashed it, mate. This is absolutely incredible. This is so good.
The founding father of Chang's.
Oh, 10 minutes of Schaub. Okay, cool. This is amazing. Well done to him. So cool. dishonorably discharged, and he's in a cage. That's so good.
The bird who flew too close to the sun. Remember.
Oh. Left him.
Still to come in the redacted war. Hi, Shane.
This is so good. Wow. Oh, that was too good. That was too amazing. Honestly, legitimately one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, big up Levon for putting that together. That is amazing. I appreciate everything about that clip. Anyways, that has been the Random Show episode number 101. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. Never a chore as per usual. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you smash the like, hit subscribe for me down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. That would be greatly appreciated, of course. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys again very, very soon. See you guys again very, very soon. Thank you. Big up everybody hanging out in there. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Let me give you guys a shouty outy. Bear with me a second here as I pull this up. Yeah, so big up Koila, big up Uche, of course, big up Vagabond, big up Mr. Coyle, big up Ethan, Charles Lucas, Silver Range, Eddie D, Brian, Cloud K20, Freshwater Baddie, Chris Mack, who else is on here? Zach. So many names to mention, so many. I'm just seeing in the chat. Eddie D, I mentioned already before. Natasha Ski. Yeah, many of you is in here. Flazzers, big up everybody that joined in. Appreciate all of yous. Make sure you smash the like for me, help me out in that regard. But apart from that, I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, be safe, peace, 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 peace.